You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet. And hey, welcome to another episode of the TADPOG and Ian podcast. Tyler and Dave play old games and Ian. Specifically. So, we were going to originally do a Scott Pilgrim episode, and then we were going to do an Indiana Jones episode, but all the way around, it's my fault. I had to change schedules. So that pushed back Scott Pilgrim, which didn't leave us much time for Indiana Jones, and then I wanted to watch that with the kids because I've never seen those movies.
I think it's a good idea.
So,
yeah, those are good movies to watch with your kids,
Yep.
especially your kids at their age.
That's the other thing. Yeah, because I was like planning because I'm rewatching them.
Yeah,
to talk about it, and I'm enjoying them. But it's like I was really close to being like I should watch these with Henry. And then, like, because they're rated like
yeah, they're PG.
They're
not
PG,
terrible.
but they're like 1981 PG.
Yeah, a little
where
bit.
it's like, oh, there's a lot of blood and impalement for a PG movie.
the guy who melts and then
That's what we call Gen X PG.
Right. Yeah.
We
Dad, what
weren't
are
moderated
Nazis?
as much.
God.
We talked about Nazis already.
Okay.
Yeah, because something came up in a YouTube video, and like with the swastika, because it was like he was watching a video about flags. And it's like there's this series of videos on like the history of like they'll take a country and do like their entire history of flags. And then so he was watching Germany.
Uh-oh.
And you know,
Yeah.
1940s come
Yes,
up.
it did.
And I was like, this is a good opportunity to talk about what that is and what that means.
Yeah.
And we didn't get into the nitty gritty of it.
It's
but
an Indian symbol of reincarnation, Dad. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it
the
used
Nazis,
to be,
okay.
but let me introduce you to the power of marketing.
Right.
It ain't anymore. Because the Nazis are really, really fucking good at marketing.
Yeah.
I mean,
The word propaganda was practically invented during their time.
so fuck them.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the conversation where it's like, if you ever see this,
Very brave stance here at the TADPOG
I
podcast.
know, right? Fuck Nazis. You joke.
You gotta have to
You
say it
joke.
nowadays. You're
But,
right.
I mean,
we gotta.
Should
We are three middle-aged white guys. We need to go ahead and put that
with a
public stance
podcast, with a small following on the internet,
in a very,
Yeah.
very red state.
Yeah, we definitely need to like be extremely clear.
Yeah.
We're not Nazis.
no, we
don't
do not
like
like
Nazis.
them or support them in any way.
But yeah, I had to be like, okay, if you ever see this like in somebody's house, get out.
Right. Yeah. Go home. Just call me now.
You're in danger.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see how
Or
they might be
tattooed
a
across
little-
somebody's chest in the hospital. That's what also when I was like, not doing this room. Bye-bye.
I could see. I thought about watching him with Cohen, and he just turned 6 like last week. Poor kid. This past Monday was Labor Day.
Right.
Was his 6th birthday. And God love him, he got sick. He woke up and he was throwing up and couldn't eat his birthday cake. It was sad. Poor little guy. I felt so bad.
especially after COVID.
Right, he just got over COVID and he's still coughing, and stuff. But he had a little tummy ache and was throwing up on his birthday. But he got to still come over and hang out with us all. He opened his presents and he had one bite of cake and he managed to keep it down. Tanya just went to all this trouble because he's super into Stranger Things, which makes me wonder he's probably okay with Raiders of the Lost Ark because,
I don't know,
Stranger
man.
Things season 4 is
It's a puppy shit.
pretty dark.
Yeah.
It's pussy shit, Pappy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Stranger Things
weird.
season 4.
It's
but like,
pretty dark compared to the first 3, and he's seen that all the way through. And it's
Chrissy,
just
wake
fine.
up!
So, yeah, and Vecna and all that weirdness. It was scary, from a standpoint of the previous 3 seasons.
There's just so much violence in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It is
like in the
super
very
violent.
fucking beginning,
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
like, where the fucking, I don't want to spoil anything because Tyler's gonna watch it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
I bet I've seen 30% of each of them just with clips
through
and
Muppet
stuff.
Babies.
Yeah, primarily.
That's how like
A boulder scene.
Yeah. That's how I watched Star Wars the first time. Essentially, it was an episode of Muppet Babies when I was 8. You know, and then I was like, "Does this connect to that Muppet movie that I watched, Return of the something?" Turns out,
Muppet Babies did it.
right? Well, they did it pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I think it was Gonzo as Darth Vader, which was like a really. That's like the best of like Spaceballs. That's like Spaceballs meets
Muppets,
Yeah.
meets Star Wars.
Meets Star Wars.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought about that too, and I was like, probably not going to subject him to that yet.
I also think it'd be too boring.
I think he would be bored with it
because
too.
there are definitely parts where it's just like
It's dull.
it's
Raiders is particularly dull, and really Last Crusade has a lot more dull parts to it. The second movie, Temple of Doom, was always my favorite.
That's the one I haven't rewatched yet. It was my favorite too, but what sucks about it is like being older and hearing like how it's not as good a film as the other 2 movies. And it's I guess that's right.
You could tell that they were kind of gearing that one a little bit more towards a family style kind of movie. But I don't want to get too much into that because that's just talk about.
But that's all I want to talk
game.
about right now because I just watched those movies.
They're so good, and I grew up loving these films. They were right up there with Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was super into Raiders. I loved it. I even had an Indiana Jones style fedora at one point.
Nice,
and I was even back in the late '80s. I was teased about that a lot, so I stopped wearing it.
Bring it back.
I should. No, wait. No, I'm not going to do that today either.
Different connotations.
For sure. For sure, milady.
We're not Nazis or incels. I feel like we need to make that clear as well. All 3 of us are married.
Yep.
I'd like to see an incel do that.
Can you be married?
I've never heard
and be an
experienced
incel?
grind take these kind of stances. Just saying.
I watched The Last Crusade for the first time. I'd never seen it.
That one,
I started with it.
as an adult,
This rewatch.
I find that one to be the superior movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I'd say I would also
But-
agree. It's great.
My nostalgia hits the most. It's weird. I really just like all 3 movies a whole fucking lot. My nostalgia hits the most for me on the first movie.
So we're not even acknowledging the 4th one.
I acknowledge it because I don't really have a problem with it. I'm capable of suspending disbelief and saying, they wanted to, and there's another one coming. They're going to do a 5th one. But you're referring to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I didn't hate. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was on par with
I
the
think
rest
that's
of the
the problem
movies.
with it. Is that it's just okay.
It's fine. It's fine, and I don't think it was.
You can separate
necessarily-
nostalgia out of it entirely.
You really
and judge it on
can.
its merits, and it's not as good.
You really can, and it's not. I mean,
And I think you could judge the original movies. I never saw The Last Crusade, so I had no nostalgia for it.
right.
And I just recently watched it and was like, that was a good movie.
sure.
I mean, that was engaging and potentially better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was even thinking.
well,
But I don't
for
have
a lot of reasons it is better than Raiders, but for me, Raiders being the first one, that's why I like it the most.
Yeah.
Like I really love the second one, and I'd say it's probably my favorite, but I could rewatch Raiders of the Lost Ark and quote it almost verbatim and still enjoy it every time I see it because it hit me at just the right time in my life. There's a scene in the movie where he, there's a lot of stuff, and again, we'll get into a lot of the details about it next time when we do the Indiana Jones episode, but there's just a lot of things about that movie that took me by surprise as a child. I didn't know what to expect, and it wasn't trope. None of the stuff was tropey.
Not at the time.
At the time.
It is.
And
It has
is
become.
now.
Yeah.
But that set the standard for a lot of that.
Right.
That created the tropes.
Right.
And it was so successful and so good and so well done. But I really do think they went to that next level in Last Crusade and knocked it out of the park. That movie's really good.
It's a really good movie. Having
Sean
no
Connery
nostalgia
was
for it
perfect
at all,
in
and I'm
it.
not even a huge Sean Connery fan.
Right, yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of parodies of Sean Connery than I am of Sean Connery. You know,
I'll take the rapists
Right.
for 200, Alex.
so I mean, yeah, I think it's, in my opinion, like that. The Last Crusade is miles more entertaining than Crystal Skull.
Which one is the heart removal one?
That's Temple of
That's
Doom.
Temple of Doom.
And that's the first one that I saw, and that's the one that I have the most nostalgia for.
I remember watching bits and pieces of
Kalima.
it on HBO as a kid.
Yeah.
Will rule the world. You know, and we had Short Round, who was
Right.
just, that kid's timing in that movie was fucking impeccable.
And like shit off the Goonies too.
Yes.
I mean,
He was just
And then he
straight up
retired
perfect.
until Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I don't know if he did anything between that and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It
but
took me a
I didn't-
minute to realize that was him.
That's him, yeah.
And I was
me too.
so happy to see him
Same.
again
Girl,
because he
same.
was Short Round and because he was so good in that. And Kate Capshaw was just such a good.
That's a fantastic movie.
It is such a good movie, and it covers so many visceral, neat little things that, like when he reaches his hand into the bugs, or when they pull the heart out of the chest, or the whole religion surrounding the stones that they're trying to save. And I mean, again, I don't want to spoil much because I know Tyler, you're gonna watch these. From a purely entertainment value, that one is the one to watch. It's exciting in the first 5 minutes, and it rarely lets up until the end. And I feel like for example, in Star Wars, it's frequently said that Empire Strikes Back is the strongest of the three original. It's really the strongest of the whole series, in my opinion.
In my
and
opinion,
most
too,
people's
yeah.
opinion. But Return of the Jedi was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, and that to me is Temple of Doom is kind of like the Return of the Jedi of the Raiders of the Lost Ark series, just because it's more exciting. You could tell it's higher budget, which even the first one was, you could tell was high budget.
Sure.
But this one was, the sets were more elaborate, and there was a lot of chase scenes and things that just really, it's very exciting. It's very fun. It's very heartwarming. It's very family oriented, believe it or not, even though we're talking about people's hearts being pulled out of their chests. So, yeah, I could go on. I love,
me too.
I love these movies. I'm
Raiders.
so excited to do this one and do this game. I played the game a little bit.
I haven't played it
Sneak
yet.
preview. Yeah, okay. You know,
Which one's
I'm
Holy
okay with
Grail?
this. Holy Grail
That's Raiders.
is Raiders. That's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And
Oh, no,
You're Last
no, I'm
Crusade.
sorry, it's wrong.
Last
It's Last
Crusade
Crusade.
is the one with the Holy Grail.
Right.
The Ark of the Covenant is
That's
Yes.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
A lot
My
of
bad.
religious.
Ark. Okay, makes
A
sense.
lot of
Right.
religious things going on in these movies. In the second movie, it's more of the religion of the. I cannot remember exactly where that takes place. The movie. Now, I do need to rewatch it and get some of those details, but it's more of a local religion of their gods, and it's, not Christianity. But the first one and the third one really center around Christianity.
And Hitler's
occult
obsession
and all the things.
which I think is, incredibly interesting. Like I remember learning about World War II, and hearing that this fucking crazy dictator was just trying the weirdest shit, and it's I don't know. There's just something about that that's I want to know more about,
Right.
how fucking weird did it get,
Exactly. And he stole so much art from the Louvre and from everywhere. And he got obsessed with Christian artifacts, and he was stealing them. And the Ark of the Covenant was rumored to have God's power stored within, and he wanted that. He legitimately wanted to lead the Nazi Germany into battle with the Ark of the Covenant at the front of the march. This was a thing. And so they kind of went and ran with that. But I'll tell you, one of the things about Raiders that just really got me was the fact that the archaeology part is dry and kind of boring as it is. Even at that age, that fascinated me.
Really?
A lot of that stuff was just like, I want to do this. And I remember I went to Murray State, and one of the classes I took was anthropology. And I actually excelled in that class. Like, I enjoyed the shit out of it. And I got probably the best grades I got in college in those anthropology classes. And I wish I'd kind of run with that a little bit more.
Well, do you know why you didn't?
I took the easy way out.
Yeah.
I went into art, and because I already had a natural talent for that. And
Sure.
I knew that's why I went to Murray, was because of their art program.
Yeah. It's a good
So
art
I was
program.
kind of on that track anyway, and I didn't really have the presence of mind to deviate from it
And I think
to get
you're
into anthropology, but I wish I had, because I find it fascinating.
I think you're selling yourself a little short, because just going to school on its own isn't necessarily taking the easy way out. You know?
No.
Like,
I don't mean that. I don't mean that to sound like it wasn't an effort and it wasn't hard and didn't require a lot of work. I just meant that those classes, those art classes and stuff, came really easy to me.
Naturally.
Because my art teacher for 4 years in high school basically pulled her entire curriculum from Murray State. So, because she was
that Ruth?
this is Ruth we're
Yeah.
talking about, and she was an amazing teacher, and she was a graduate of Murray State, and everything she learned there, she took to the classroom and taught us the same. So a lot of what I learned in high school, I took to college and was like able to just sort of breeze my way through it. I had already done functional design. I had already done metalsmithing. I'd already done these things. So the processes and the whole thing, none of it was really new to me, unless I got into a field like I did not do any graphic design at high school.
Sure.
So I did, get into that fresh in college, and that's where I spent most of my time getting my degree in graphic design that I've never ever used to make money.
Well, whenever this
But-
podcast really pops off, you should go back to school for anthropology.
Maybe I just like that stuff, and I think that's where, of course, back when I was a kid too, everyone thought that being an archaeologist and being an anthropologist meant grabbing a whip and going out into the woods or the forest and finding hidden idols and running from
The woods are out here.
natives.
It's
We can do the
You
woods,
know,
find some Native American burial grounds.
ancient Kentucky artifacts.
There's plenty of it here, but I just really liked anthropological studies and how different cultures do things and things like that. So yeah, that would have been a good field for me too. But those movies really got me thinking in those terms. Like
you and probably a bunch of other people too, right? I mean, like,
brought it to the
those movies
forefront.
were huge.
yeah,
And it was like you talking about
huge, like
huge,
Star Wars,
enormous,
huge.
yeah,
like, yeah, and beyond.
yeah.
Because that appealed to an even broader audience.
Sure.
Everybody loved Star Wars. In 1977, you couldn't throw a rock and hit someone that hadn't seen Star Wars. They were all about it. Everyone.
And then you combine several of the same people,
right.
George Lucas
George
and Harrison
Lucas,
Ford,
Harrison
and then
Ford,
and John Williams,
Oh, it's a perfect.
and then you pull in Steven Spielberg, and I mean, it's just like
that is a winning.
how the hell did
formula.
yeah, I mean, there's no way that movie was going to be not at least checked out you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like just the fact that it exists with those people attached to it, I would think.
Definitely.
But then again, I don't honestly, like, you're older than me by a little bit. I don't know what Steven Spielberg's real big hit was. I mean, E.T. Yeah, that does
E.T.
make
was
sense.
my generation's biggest. That one hit for everyone.
When did that come out? Was that pre-Raiders? Was that
Might have
before
been-
81?
No, it wasn't before 81. It was post Raiders. I mean, Steven Spielberg he did. I'll tell you what really got him in the probably the minds of most people. It was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That one was, if I'm right, I think that one was in the late 70s.
Okay.
Or like 1980, something like that. This was post. Gosh, I'd have to look to be sure, but that one really, I don't know what else Steven Spielberg had done before that, and most people probably weren't as familiar with his work up to that point until Close Encounters. And once he did that, which was also an excellent movie.
Do you know he was born in Cincinnati?
I did not know that.
Just across the river.
Wow.
I mean, kinda.
Sorta.
Just across the river. Yeah,
You're
he
in
was born
Lexington.
Cincinnati. Yeah. In 1946.
He's a little older than my dad.
Let me go to the filmography here.
I mean, I've probably seen a lot of his work. I won't say
Okay.
most.
Okay. So Jaws. I knew Jaws
fucking
was
Jaws.
huge,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
didn't realize that it was so much earlier than
Yes,
Raiders. Jaws is
right.
1975.
That's the one. That's the one that probably really got him.
There were movies
out there.
before that, which I haven't seen, but maybe you guys have. Firelight, Duel, Ace Eli, and Roger of the Skies.
Nope.
The Sugarland Express.
Heard of that, but I never saw it.
And then Jaws, and then Close Encounters of the Third Kind
Okay.
in 77.
Okay, yeah. I had a feeling that it had come out right around the same time as Star Wars, so okay.
And then 1941, which I haven't seen. Then 1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark. E.T. in 82. Twilight Zone, the movie, in 83.
Yeah,
which I guess
those are good. That's a good movie.
Temple of Doom in 84. He directed The Color Purple?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
absolutely, Yes. He did Schindler's List.
Right. That was a bit later.
Yeah.
The Goonies in 85 as well. Empire of the Sun, Indiana Jones and Last Crusade. That came out in 89. Hook in 91.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg just had my fucking number in the 80s. I still wear a Goonies t-shirt, you know. I just, those movies infected me. I was exactly the right age for every single one of those movies that came out.
He didn't direct all of those. I should have said
I know
that.
but
he was involved
Amblin, even if it was before it was known as Amblin,
Yeah.
was definitely.
I think out of all those, I've seen Hook.
Have you not ever seen E.T.?
Nope.
Or Jaws?
Nope.
Really? Huh. Yeah, it's hard for me to recommend Jaws to you because that's one of those movies where it's like, I don't know, man. I liked it a lot. It terrified me as a kid.
It's a scary movie.
But it's not.
When you're a kid,
When you're a kid,
it's a scary movie.
when
And
you're
they
a
had
kid-
never done anything like that.
When you're a kid in the 80s, it's a scary movie.
Yeah.
Henry would laugh at that movie.
Oh, for sure.
Because it is like, not only are the scary parts not scary anymore, but it's like the dull parts are like extra dull
Super
by
fucking dull.
like today's standards.
I told Tanya the other day because she stuck it on. It was on somewhere, and we were watching at it. And I was like, "There's a part towards the end where they're actually going after the shark." That is way too fucking long. It is so boring and just drawn out. And I'm like, yeah, I would have checked the fuck out at this point as a child. Give me sharks. I don't
Right.
want to see these people getting drunk and singing sea shanties with one another.
I'm curious how, like, I was thinking about this while I was watching these Indiana Jones movies, where it's like, how much of the pacing was dictated by, we are making a goddamn 2-hour movie.
Right.
Like,
That's our budget. We're using
2
every minute
hours
of it.
that minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because it's like, I agree. Like, and I know we're not doing Indiana Jones right now, but we also kind of are.
This is our Indiana Jones warm up.
It's our pre-com, our Indiana Jones
We're
pre-com.
edging Indiana Jones right up to the moment.
Like, there are parts in those movies that, like, could definitely, like, when we're talking about their dull parts, it's
Yeah.
like some of those serve a purpose, and like, but they could be surmised. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, for me, the dull parts are fine now. Like, I like those parts now too because I'm like, oh, this provides interesting information that I didn't have when I was a kid. I was like, get to the whip, do stuff with the whip.
that's still me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still me. Kill a Nazi.
Exactly.
This time a wasting, buddy. 10 minutes have passed. I haven't seen you punch one Nazi.
You should see E.T. You should watch E.T. with your children. It's a good movie.
It's coming on Maiden Alley pretty soon.
Is
I
it?
think, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the ones it took like 8 or 9 years before that was released on VHS. Like, it was a huge,
I remember it being a
fucking
huge deal when it came
that movie
out.
came out on video because
then-
it was like you couldn't see it anywhere else. There was nowhere to go to see it. You know, it was out of theaters, and I mean, occasionally the theater would bring it back and show it for a weekend and be like, "Hey, we're showing ET, whatever." But if you wanted to watch it at home, you were fucked. You were out of luck.
I was let down by E.T. because it came out in 82 in theaters. I was born in 81, so I didn't see it in the theater. And then, like, I remember it being a huge deal, like you're saying, when it came out on VHS. And, like, my mom was, like, real excited about it. She's like, we're going to get E.T., we're going to watch E.T. We didn't get E.T., I'm sure we rented E.T.
Yeah, because videotapes back then were
Right.
$100
Right.
for one movie.
We're going to watch E.T., and it's like, I remember watching E.T. and being like, that was okay. You know what I mean? Because it's 1990 at that point, where it's like I'm 9 years old, and it's like
I mean, you were the right age, but it wasn't the right
it was
time.
right, exactly. Yeah, it's a good way of putting that.
Because when it came out, it was a big deal.
Oh, I know. I rode the Universal Studios ride.
Did you?
I want to see the quantum reality, the other path where M&M's takes the deal, and it's not Reese's Pieces.
Oh,
That's right. I forgot about that.
yeah.
That movie made Reese's Pieces happen.
Yep.
Like that
Reese's is where it is today from that.
They're still around because of the money that was.
What are they eating? Mac and me? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen
Dots.
them. Dots.
You never seen Mac and me? Oh man,
I don't think
it's
I
better
have.
than ET, but in a different way.
Just ask Paul Rudd.
And I
What
remember-
other movie could you see a kid in a wheelchair rocking off a cliff?
Possibly Silver Bullet, starring Corey Haim and Gary Busey, the Stephen King movie, the movie adaptation of the Stephen King book about a werewolf
Damn.
hunting a young curious boy who's in a motorized wheelchair.
I don't know how I knew about this.
Good movie.
It sounds like an interesting lineup.
Should watch the movie Silver Bullet. Give it a shot. It's good for this time of year. It's a good horror movie to throw on the list. We always try to watch more horror movies during this time of year, obviously, because we're approaching Halloween.
It's
and
spooky
stuff,
season,
and
Ian.
Spooky season, and so that's on the list. Always on the list. Good stuff. I remember speaking of Steven Spielberg joints, Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
Not a Spielberg movie, I don't believe. I think that was Richard Donner, but Steven Spielberg was involved.
Yeah, he's in the
Produced
credits
it.
for sure. I think he's producer.
And it felt like a Steven Spielberg movie. It had all the right, that some movies just have a certain feeling. Mm-hmm. That one felt like a Steven Spielberg film to me, but it terrified me because
Poltergeist was a scary
it was
movie.
a scary movie, and I was fine until the clown scene. And
Yeah.
the clown scene really bothered me.
Yeah.
Like I was very young or too young to really be watching that movie probably. And I had bad dreams about that stupid clown doll coming to kill me.
Silver Bullet is
Can't
a 1985
Clown will eat me.
American horror film.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Corey Haim, Gary Busey, like you said, and then some people I haven't heard of. All right, yeah, I have to check this out. I mean, you had me at Stephen King and Gary Busey.
Yeah.
But this is like not unhinged Busey. This is
Pre-brain on the ground,
yeah.
you see.
He's still pretty crazy.
all right. Great, I love it. Great.
He's the fun uncle.
Okay.
The dangerous and fun uncle of the kid in the movie, and he's the gearhead uncle that he soups up. He makes this like souped up motorized wheelchair for his paralyzed nephew.
Gary Busey is the Daffy Duck, as Nick Nolte is the Donald Duck. True or false?
If Donald Duck were sort of depressing, I guess he is.
Yeah, I think he's, except for when he murdered Goofy that one time.
Should have hit him in the head, man, with that fish.
Should have gone for the head, Thor. Yeah, maybe. I guess that works.
Something
know.
out there.
Nick Nolte. Beverly Hills.
Harrison Ford.
Another 48 hours and another 48 hours.
Wasn't Nick Nolte going to be Han Solo? Wasn't he like on the list of like potential Han Solos?
Probably. Have you ever seen that sketch of people auditioning for parts for Star Wars
Maybe.
on Saturday Night Live? It was and one of them was Christopher Walken. I think I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that, but a lot of people were on the list for Han Solo.
Han Solo.
God, I love SNL so much, but man, this next season's gonna be rough.
What's up in next season?
like a lot of all my favorite people are be gone.
Who's leaving?
Kate McKinnon is gone.
Oh,
That's
no.
primarily big one.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon.
That is a big one.
She was like 80 Bryant. I think Cecily.
Man.
Yeah. I
She's
think
leaving too?
She had left, but then decided to come back for another season.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I don't think she's gone. I think she's sticking around. But like Melissa Villaseñor is gone. Pete Davidson is gone. Beck Bennett left last season. Like a lot of my favorite people from
Keenan?
the current cast.
He's staying.
Keenan is still there.
Good. Yes, he's got to keep that streak
The
alive,
big
man.
rumor is that once Lauren retires, Keenan becomes the new Lauren.
Is that right?
That's what I've read in multiple publications.
I could see it. I
People
mean-
think he's got the experience. He's been in TV.
He's been
his
yeah.
whole
He's been
fucking
on
life.
SNL.
He's been
for
on SNL for
a long time.
Isn't he like the longest?
Oh yeah, by far.
Cast
He passed
member?
Tim Meadows years ago.
Yeah, and I mean that's insane.
Yep.
Crazy. Saturday Night Live. What was it I watched the other day? Oh, something came up on TikTok. It was Phil Hartman and the colon blow commercial.
Oh man,
I had that on VHS. All the best SNL commercials.
you'd have to eat over 2 million bowls.
He rides up on the big pyramid of bowls.
Still makes me sad. Still makes me so sad.
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
It was. It is.
Well, I guess I also want to say, like, because of my schedule change, we couldn't get Scott Pilgrim to work out schedule-wise. So that'll be on a hiatus for a little while. Not permanent, but it'll probably be a few months before we get back to Scott Pilgrim. Just because I appreciate everybody working because I had to pivot, but unfortunately, we couldn't work it out between all of us and didn't want to leave anybody out. So we'll just wait on that one.
No
Not a big
worries.
deal.
Yeah.
We'll get
I'm
we'll get
looking
back
forward
to it.
picking back up.
Me too.
So then this is pretty much to coin a last podcast. This is like a relaxed fit episode.
The relaxed
Yeah.
fit
Yeah.
episode.
Just
Yeah,
chilling.
I need a
the
relaxed
Jinkos
fit.
of TADPOG episodes.
Yeah, this is good. I need a relaxed fit episode.
So, well, if we're just gonna talk, I'm gonna
Yes,
talk
please.
about something I've got. I saw something so weird the other day. I've mentioned on this.
Two guys holding hands.
They were right down the street, just
Nick
sitting there.
Nolte and Garrett Busey playing dueling pianos in a cartoon bar.
It's the weirdest thing. I've mentioned on the show before how I dig vintage porn.
Yeah,
Have you ever
like
seen
the-
Dave's old porn? Not that Dave,
Not me.
but Dave Attell's short-lived HBO show, Dave's Old Porn.
No.
He has a guest on, and they watch old porn.
Oh, I gotta watch.
Oh
that
my
one.
god, it's
it's
so
really good.
Okay, because I'm a huge. I love the old stuff. I love a great big old bush. You know, I'm just into it. I dig it.
Man, we were watching Shudder. Nikki and I were watching Shudder the other night. And have you heard of a movie called The Toolbox Killer?
No.
So like, I'm so sorry to derail you, but you said Bush.
No,
and
you're fine.
That triggered that triggered a recent memory.
Toolbox or Toy Box?
Toolbox.
Actually,
It's about this guy, and I swear to you, this is how they wrote the movie. Nikki and I were laughing.
I think we have seen this.
Because
Tell me.
we were laughing because it's like, okay, here's how they wrote the movie. Someone was like, shit, we got to write a movie, but all we have is this toolbox. What if there was a guy and he used every tool in the toolbox?
Oh, wait a
in different
minute.
way to kill
Wait, no. Did they go on they go to a cabin and or the?
It's in an apartment. It was like in an
Oh no,
apartment
I'm thinking of
complex.
something else.
And
I think we did see Toolbox Killer.
yeah, I'm sure you have. It's running on like one of the live
I know we watched
things
this.
on
This
Shudder.
sounds really familiar.
And
to
it's
me.
like it was straight up like it was one of those where it's like this is like kind of softcore porn, but you know it's. And I told Nikki, I was like, this is why I got into horror movies, is because as a child this stuff would run on late night cable. And this was always like a pretty good bet. You're going to see some boobs and maybe some bush.
Right.
And then like 30 seconds later, there's full frontal, like early 80s bush. And it's like, we got it. We got bush.
Got it in one.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like you're not, what I don't like, I don't have a problem with it. Obviously it's great, but like, I feel like you're also not seeing anything. You know what I mean? It's like another pair of clothes.
It's nature censor bar.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think the whole thing for me was, the first porns I ever saw.
Right.
were in the 80s, but they were from the 70s
Sure.
of some, like the girl I knew down the road whose dad had this one. I think I mentioned that Barber Broadcast was the first. It was the name of the first movie. I've mentioned this on the show.
I know it's been a minute.
But that was my first experience with porn, and so therefore it was locked in. And everybody in that movie had a full-on bush. It was just the thing. And it's always just been sort of something I've gravitated to. But I love these old movies because they're the scenarios in these fucking movies are so awful, but they're so awesome at the same time. They're ridiculous scenarios. There's always some, like in Barber Broadcast, the opening scene takes place in this restaurant where basically you just order sex stuff off the menu.
Now I remember. Yes, now I remember this.
And the guy,
I remember looking it up after you
she
talked
orders
about
like
it.
a number 12, and a dude comes over and jerks off onto a bed of lettuce.
It's a Starbucks.
Or you can order. One lady comes over. Can I borrow your waiter? Mine isn't. And then she sucks him off. And there's someone having sex on the buffet. I mean, it's just
Wendy's.
It's taking Chong's. It's taking these everyday scenarios.
You haven't been to Steak and Shake at 2 a.m. in Paducah.
Take these everyday scenarios, and then it's like it's completely normalized and nonchalant that there's people having sex over here. That's what we expect to see, And it just struck me as it's so dirty, It's just like, wow. What if it were really
This
like
is a restaurant owner's nightmare.
This is a health code
The health
violation.
inspector's here. I hope he's here to jerk off and not close the business.
So I have to make a weird parallel here. So
Please.
just bear with me.
I jerked off onto some lettuce and waited for 20 years for someone to ask for a number 2.
In Bottom Merkin.
About American. We're all familiar with Breaking Bad. Are you? Dave?
I watched a little bit of it.
You know the guy in the wheelchair,
Yes.
Hector Salamanca.
Yes.
The actor's name eludes me right now. I need to look it up. But anyway, the other day,
He's the guy who came on the lettuce.
no,
ding, 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 ding.
there's a classic. There's all the big classics that most people have heard of, which is like Deep Throat and The Devil and Miss Jones and Behind the Green Door. These are all names of old famous.
I've heard of one
porn.
of those.
And these were
Heard of
all
one of
ones
those as well.
Yeah.
This was back in the day when porn had like movie premieres. Like they would premiere these pornos in movie theaters and have big openings for it. It was a huge deal back
Staff
then.
hated it.
Yeah. Well, no, people would just dress up in tuxedos and evening gowns and come to watch the premiere of whatever. These were shot on film, and they were, if you ever watch Boogie Nights, it's kind of like
I
in
need to see
the
Boogie
golden
Nights.
age of
Josh
porn.
doesn't.
Why doesn't Josh need to see it? He's scared of prosthetic penises.
When Josh and his college girlfriend broke up, it was a very rough breakup.
I forgot about this. It's been so long.
And Josh was in a very bad place for like a month or two. And early on, when he was virtually inconsolable, that's
He
when
went into porn.
He went into porn, yeah.
Named himself Duck Dougler.
You know me. They had
Called him Eggman.
he used to live with McElwain, and we had 3 other friends upstairs. It was a whole house to themselves, so they had a big house party. Everybody's trying to cheer Josh up, but there's just nothing to it. So he's upstairs, and they're watching movies and drinking, and everybody's partying. Shake is there in like a toga, super drunk. Like everybody's having a good time all around, except for Josh, who is motionless, sitting in the middle of the couch, and someone puts on Boogie Nights.
Well, that sounds like a scene from Boogie Nights.
Yep.
There's a specific scene I'm thinking of from Boogie Nights that
Well, he's
would
having
fit that scenario.
Josh is
all
having
too
beers,
well.
so he ends up getting pretty drunk, and he's watching Boogie Nights to the scene where William H. Macy
Yeah,
walks
that's the one
in
I'm
on his
thinking
wife
of.
fucking all these dudes, and you see I remember I'm over in the kitchen, and Josh just gets up and comes over drunk and just starts crying to me like, William H. Macy's a good man.
Just
She just cheated on him.
well, There's more to it than that, but yeah, that I get it, and I mean, yeah, I'm glad he didn't take the route.
I remember
that
he's like
makes
sick
Macy's
in the
character.
grass, like still just like Macy.
Boogie Nights is awesome, but it's super depressing. Highly recommend it. I know it's super depressing. You should watch it. I love it. It is a classic.
Highly recommend
classic.
getting dumped by Josh's college girlfriend and watching Boogie Nights while drunk.
But
I do that.
back,
That sounds like a net win.
but back in the time that Boogie Nights takes place, which is basically the 70s, the decade of the 70s, porn was a huge deal. It was like a big cinematic event, and it was, a whole new industry that was really, really taking off, especially, you had to go to the theater to see porn. There was very little, and then eventually the industry moved to home video and, stuff like that. So obviously
Some
the decline.
like guys were like, "Wait, so I don't have to wear a tux to watch people fuck anymore?" Oh, thank God! I just want to.
I'm still gonna.
Yeah, just the top part though.
That's just every day. So I'm making a point, I promise. One of the big name movies from that era was called The Opening of Misty, Beethoven. And it was a pretty big deal. It had all the
Joel Schumacher?
Steven Spielberg did
Okay.
that one.
That Joe. I remember Joey Shoes.
Yeah.
Opening.
The opening of Misty, Beethoven. And the premise of the movie wasn't as sort of outrageous as like the Barber Broadcast and some of the others, but this one, there were multiple scenes that took place on a jet plane, an airliner. And the airliner was, the stewardesses are giving, they called them stewardesses back then, not flight attendants, were giving blowjobs, and, it was all the sex stuff. Do you want smoking or non-smoking? Sex or non-sex? That kind of silly little things like that. But the reason I asked about Breaking Bad was because the guy, I'm watching this, and the guy that plays Hector Salamanca is in this movie. And I saw it. He's obviously much, much younger, although he's one of those
It'd be
guys
weird
that
if he wasn't.
Well, he's one of those guys,
How'd you do that, man?
He's one of those guys, though, that still looked old when he was young.
Gotcha.
Like, he started off looking old, and he's only gotten, like, older.
Uh-huh.
Right? And I got to look at his name. But I'm thinking to myself, oh, no. Because he's just sitting, he's this grumpy guy sitting in the seat on the plane. And the stewardess walks up and asks him something. I'm like, oh, no. No. I do not want to see Hector Salamanca's dick. I don't want to see him doing anything.
I do.
Fortunately,
Damn.
for me, he had like 20 seconds in the movie of just being a grumpy dude, and then that was it. He wasn't in anything else in the movie. Nothing happened except he was kind of surly with the flight attendant, and that was it.
Was Sylvester Stallone actually in porn? Like, did a porn, or was he like
what I always heard.
that, like where Hector was just there?
I know Schwarzenegger did porn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was like what he did first before he got really big and started being in like Conan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stallone was in porn. I wouldn't be surprised if he were.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a huge market for gigantic muscular dudes back then.
Yeah.
Mark Margolis.
Margolis, thank you. Yes. Has an uncredited scene in the famous 1970s porn, The Opening of Misty, Beethoven.
Yeah, they mention here the opening of Misty, Beethoven. Yep.
So I just thought I would bring up that,
He plays
Mike Margolis has been in porn.
In the
but
Breaking
wasn't-
Bad extended universe. This is where it's-
he plays unhappy man on plane.
Yep. Yep, that tracks.
Back in my day, we got blowjobs on the ground.
That's true. This is witchcraft.
But he looks so different because it was, 40 years ago or whatever, or almost 50 years ago. He looked so different. I was like, God, I recognize that guy. And then I'm like, I'm thinking on it for a minute or two, and then I'm like, holy shit. And look it up. I'm like, yep, that's him.
Man, he was
Ding,
in
ding, 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 ding.
Scarface. I need to rewatch Scarface. Apparently, yeah.
It's been a fucking minute since
It's been a really long time since I've seen Scarface. I don't actually think I need to rewatch it. I mean,
I may.
It's okay.
Put it back on my radar because I probably wasn't paying attention to it when I saw it the first time.
it's one of those movies that I feel like kind of got like,
Edgelorded.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like how they say what Joker is Passion of the Christ for juggalos.
Oh, wow.
All right. There is that
Haven't
scene
heard
where
that,
they're
but I've
passing them
seen that.
around. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
They hand him a Faygo.
Or a Fanta if he's in Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to drop that fact on
Good one.
Labor Day weekend. We went over to my mom's and we were watching. Henry is watching YouTube, and like one of the things that came up was like logos and how they've changed like through the years. And one of them was Fanta, and I was like, "Yeah, I knew Fanta was around since the '40s." Let me tell you why. This video doesn't tell you, but it's Nazi Coke.
I didn't know you guys had Nazi memorabilia in your house.
This is a YouTube video. My parents do not drink Fanta. It's real important. They do have Nazi memorabilia, but they do not
they're not.
drink Fanta.
I don't want you to think poorly of them.
Please.
God, there's so much of that crap to be found in the little antique shops around here.
Nazi stuff?
Yes.
Really?
It'll be stuff that like World War II soldiers that came back and, you know, maybe they killed a Nazi soldier and took his stuff.
Well, I do remember a 97-year-old woman that Melissa used to take care of. Like, she had where her husband was there and took a flag out of Hitler's house. So, like, she's like, yeah, open my drawer over there. And Melissa opened it up, and it was, yeah, surely to God,
Hitler's
like a Nazi flag. Hitler's dick.
We found it. But no, there's a couple of places, those little antique shops downtown. There's one in particular that has like a whole case of stuff like that for sale. But it's for sale, and that's what kind of bothers me.
This
It's like,
belongs in a museum.
Don't sell this stuff. I mean, if you keep it as a
Well, it makes me feel
memento
good that
or
it was there still for sale and not just gone.
gone. Like, what happened to all your Nazi
Probably not
stuff?
priced low enough, let's be honest.
Probably not.
Oh, shit.
Man, I got an idea. All that antique store needs to do is just, I don't know, open up a little booth at, I don't know, like Tater Day or something.
Yep. Yep.
We sold
Yeah,
out.
mark it up. Yeah, lemon shake-ups and Nazi shit.
That's what it signs says in handwriting. It's just written.
This marker on like the back of a box.
Fanta shake-ups.
And yeah, with Fanta 2-liter bottles for you to throw the rings on and get it. Yeah, that's Nazi Coke.
Well, hell, give me another ring. I'll try again.
Yeah. It's that kind of stuff is tough though, right? Like the Fanta stuff and all that, because it's like, I mean, we got NASA, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like
I was
We
listening to,
landed on the moon. Thanks to the Nazis.
I was listening to the last podcast right before I came out here where they're talking about Operation Paperclip.
yeah.
And how fucked up it was. And because Ben was like, can you say anything good that came out from Operation Paperclip? And Marcus is like, I'll be the moon landing. Henry's like, allegedly.
Nope,
if we actually did it.
That's why we only did it once. We felt so guilty about it. We're like, Nazi tech.
They're talking about going back.
I know. Yeah.
I'm thinking probably build a fueling station for a mission to Mars.
I think I just want to get that car back.
You seen how expensive cars are with this
Yeah,
inflation?
right.
We'll go get that Tesla.
Exactly.
But what, I guess with all the shit with like Russia abandoning the International Space Station and all that shit and pulling out of everything now. So may as well go reassert some shit since Russia's down to the point where, I mean, what they're buying ammunition from North Korea because no one else will sell anything to them.
Yep.
Like, ooh.
Real popular Russia.
Real
right
popular
now.
that Russia. Oh, what else have you guys been up to? Anything?
I've just been watching a lot of TV.
Yeah.
I feel like that's all I ever talk about is shit that I've watched on TV. I finished JoJo again. Got through.
You're caught up.
I'm caught up.
You got the new stuff.
Through the new episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is still bizarre, as promised.
Not an adventure anymore, though. They kind of settled down.
It's kind of really not so much of an adventure, but I guess, what are they going to, they're not going to change the names.
Man, we've been watching a lot of Adventure Time because Henry's been watching me play Multiverses. He likes to watch.
Okay.
And we had been watching Bob's Burgers quite a bit, which is really entertaining for me because it's like so many of the jokes like go completely over his head. He likes all the kids stuff in it,
Sure.
like when the kids are doing things, he loves that. Yeah. But I mean, there's so much that's like, I'll be laughing. I'll look over like, does that register?
Yeah.
Nope, not yet. Give him a couple more years. But like Adventure Time has kind of replaced that because he's been all about it because of multiverses.
Yeah, I had to back away from Multiverses for a couple of days because I played it all day Labor Day, like all day, enough to level 2 characters up to 15, which is kind of that's where you stop earning stuff, like extra moves or perks or bonuses or whatever. 15 is kind of the level, kind of the unofficial level cap. You can go higher than that, but you don't really earn anything other than XP.
I mean, I got Velma at 21 and Superman at like 19, and it's just because they're fun to play.
Just keep playing them.
I've got Velma up to 19 now, and Superman's the one I leveled up on Labor Day. But I originally started the game playing as Rain Dog.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Rain Dog is this new character that was created for the game. He's a hybrid reindeer and dog, and he's this big green dog with antlers.
Poochie, okay.
He's Poochie. Only he's a support character, and he's actually really powerful. If you can play him and figure out his moveset, he's pretty hard to beat. But I don't know what happened, but like all day Monday when I'm playing, I was working on Rain Dog. Every other match I would get into, my teammate or someone on the other team would commit harikiri and just jump off the side of the map.
I have a theory about that, maybe, but it's weird.
I don't know if it was because of Rain Dog. Maybe they didn't want to play against.
They failed their will save and ran in fear on the stage.
This amalgamation should not exist as it gets got. This chimera that has been created.
Or my teammate would do it. They would just stand there, and I thought, okay, well maybe they're lagging because sometimes they would stand there and get just completely run out by the opponent, and then when they come back, they'd play.
Right.
So they may have had a connection problem or something, and were able to get back in. I found a random message on my Xbox Live the other day, like on my phone. You have the app.
Yeah.
I found a message from someone from like a week and a half ago that I never saw. That was like, "Yo, why are you gonna let me 1v2 these guys?" I did not respond. My battery probably died or something because I've got those rechargeables you switch out.
Yeah.
I probably battery died and I had to switch, and he got fucking
I've been
destroyed
there, man. While we were playing, my batteries died.
But he's like, "Yo, why are you gonna let me 1v2 these guys? What the fuck?" I'm like, whatever. But yeah, my teammate. But then I had the teammates that would just die, just run off the edge of the map immediately, or whatever, or just jump around and not play.
I think those are children.
Probably.
Is my guess.
It's got to be children.
I just think they're kids who are just playing, you know what I mean? Like, don't know what they're doing, and like, I mean, like 4-year-olds. Like,
play with Rain Dog. It's fine. Here, go. Let's do it. It's fine.
But Mom and I are gonna go in this room.
Do not come in. Just play this game.
No, you're doing it right. You just run off. Yes, you just run.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
When you get that big thing that pops out the side of the screen, you win that. That's you winning.
That's you winning.
But yeah, I got so tired of having bad matches, and I was chalking this. I was chalking it up to Rain Dog because it didn't start happening to me until I was playing as Rain Dog. But I was having fun messing with people. Like, I would be leveling up. I would be leveling up somebody like Superman, or I've got a number of characters leveled up to 15 now. And when I was doing Rain Dog, I'm not great with him, but we would win a match. And then but before the match starts, if you look at your opposition, you can display these badges on your little banner profile before a match starts.
I've stopped looking at those. Purposely, I don't like looking at them anymore.
I look at them only for this reason.
Okay.
Because I know what's going to happen. Because we'll get into a match and I'll look at the opponent and they'll be playing as Wonder Woman, for example, and their Wonder Woman is like level 3. So obviously they're either trying to get an achievement or they are leveling her up or something, practicing with this character,
learning
right?
her.
But if the badge will have like a Jake badge.
I know who you're fighting next round.
8 stars, and you hover over and it'll say Jake wins 1907. Like, all right, this guy's a Jake main. So we'll play, and then I will, I like whip their ass with Rain Dog, right? I'm like, okay. And they'll accept the rematch. Like if you win after the first round, everyone has to vote if you want to fight again. Mm-hmm. And if the other team wins, then you do a third as for best of 3 to see who's like the winner of the best of 3, right? Or you can dip out at any point after the match is over. If you don't want to play again, you can. But I always know what's going to happen when I see the guy with the Jake badge that has 1,900 wins. When I whip his ass in the first round, he's definitely coming back as Jake.
Yep. So you decline?
No, because then I play round 2 as Velma and whip his ass as Velma. Like I always try to keep track of that, like to see, okay, if this guy's not right now is not playing his main, I'm gonna play round 2 as my main because I know he's gonna get mad and try to come back and get
I stopped looking at him. It's mind games, man.
It is. I don't even think I have one on mine now. I think
I'm leaving mine,
off.
but I stopped looking at other people's because it automatically kind of like sets the tone for like, oh, this person's won like so many games.
Gives you, yeah, it does. It does sort of give you that.
He's beat the shit out of a lot of kids.
Yeah,
a lot of kids.
Yeah,
I'll look at him and be like, he's got 8,000 ring outs. What the fuck? No,
yeah,
I'm pushing 800 myself, 900.
I have no idea what I'm at,
but yeah, I do that though, just as almost more as a strategy, just in case. Because I just have a feeling I want to know what I got to do on the next round because I may not be good enough with this character to fight his main. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I want to win.
I hope we can still be friends.
Sure.
Because I've been playing a lot of Bugs Bunny recently. Bugs Bunny fucking rules, dude. I'm not good.
Everybody, I know he does because everyone plays Bugs Bunny 100% of the time. I was in a match the other day with 3 Bugs Bunnies.
He's not nowhere near as like slimy as Superman. Like nowhere near. Like I learned a trick over the weekend where it's like, yo, you can hang on to the ledge, trick people to come forward, jump up, grab him, and throw him straight the fuck down. It's a KO every time you catch him. Like
with Superman?
Time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Every time.
Superman is a fucking that can be it.
He's a shitlord.
He's a shitlord.
He is.
Fun to play though.
So much fun.
So much fun to grab somebody. You grab them and then you fly off the edge of the map and then get right to the edge and then punch them. There's no coming back from
fly
that.
back.
And then fly back. There's no fucking
It's so much fun because it's like, they're working real hard to like get your damage up and everything. Like I've fucking like
you just go,
thrown dudes off the stage with like 150 damage, and it's like
I threw a guy off the fucking stage the other day with 57 damage. I managed to grab him and
if they're up high enough,
toodaloo, motherfucker, and just knocked his ass out, and he was not happy.
And I love playing Superman against like someone playing Shaggy who doesn't know to not charge up right at the very top of the screen because that's like a fucking death sentence because they're like
Shaggy
pixels away.
Shaggy has a rage where he buffs out, but it takes a while for that to take
Is this
effect.
a Rage Shaggy or is this the Ultra Instinct Shaggy?
This is Ultra Instinct.
Okay.
This is him going Super Saiyan. Like he hovers wherever he is.
So a lot of times they'll try to go to the top of the map
to get away from everyone.
get away from everyone and do their rage, because if you do it right in the middle of the fracas, you're going to get hit.
It's going to interrupt your
it takes
charge.
a good 4 seconds for that thing to fully charge up, and that's obviously a lifetime.
But if you're Superman,
So
do you see
Shaggy
a
will be up
Shaggy
in the
doing that
left-hand
shit?
corner doing his shit. If you're Superman, you just jump, and then hit left Y, and you fly. You just slowly, so slowly fly over to Shaggy,
Yeah.
grab him, and keep flying. And I've done it. I've flown off the map holding somebody to win.
Yeah.
Like taking the
yeah,
death.
right.
Because they're at like 3 and we've only got 2 defeat or 2 ring outs against us, and they're at 3. So I've grabbed people and just flown off the map, and that's their 4th, and we
That's
win.
what people do with Kirby. Will inhale in Smash Brothers, inhale Kirby, and then jump off. That was Shake getting mad at losing, so he chose Kirby, and he was like, "That's it, dudes. I'm just sitting here sucking until somebody comes in my mouth."
Superman is a shitlord.
Yeah. Jake can eat people.
Bugs Bunny is a fucking. I get so mad at the Bugs Bunny.
I'm not good with him yet, but it's like
That
I'm to the
fucking
point where there's
baseball
like,
bat
there's
thing.
potential here for sure. And then like his
you spam
down.
one move and you win. You just
No.
keep spamming the same.
No.
That's what happens to me.
No, that's what I've been trying. It didn't fucking work. Like you got to mix it up. Like, but the baseball bat's like his up smash is like clearly like his. Sorry, it's
so
not his up smash.
irritating.
It's just his up air.
Yeah, he hits you with a baseball. Bugs Bunny will hit you with a baseball bat. It makes that thunk noise like a home run sound. And then you'll fly up a little bit, and then he'll jump up and hit you again and just keep fucking boinging your ass until you're off the map.
Were you
Unless
talking
can
about
down dodge and time it just right?
you talking about that to me was like, yeah, he's right. That does happen to me a lot. I should learn how to play Bugs Bunny.
I keep thinking I've got to do this.
You got to do it.
But I can't be what I hate the
Sure, you
most.
can, because you're going to do a lot. Next time you fight one, you're going to be like, because when I fight a Superman, it's like, you dirty motherfucker. I know all those goddamn tricks. You know what I mean?
I do need to play, but you're right. I do need to get my Bugs Bunny on so I can better understand my enemy.
And his spike, with the mallet, is insane, dude. Like if you hit somebody with that spike, I mean they're flying. I mean straight down. Like
Same with Harley. who
Yeah,
I've
with a
also-
boxing glove punch.
Well, that and her mallet.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
got a mallet. Because at one point, if you're fighting a Bugs Bunny as Harley and you knock him out with your mallet, Bugs Bunny comes back and says, I've been swinging mallets since you were in diapers. But yeah, Harley's very OP if you know how to play her.
I don't know how to play her.
I've gotten her up to 15, and I
Nice.
gotta tell you,
You gotta tell me how to play her because I don't know.
she's pretty good if you can.
I started playing as her and like didn't immediately click, so it's like,
Yeah.
I'll move on. But yeah, I've definitely been bested by several Harleys. Gizmo comes out tomorrow. If you're looking for something to get you back into the game,
Really?
sounds like you took a little break since Labor Day. Gizmo comes out tomorrow.
Just a couple of days off, just because I really played more than I should have, and I want to play with you.
Yeah.
Our schedules
I
haven't
know.
been lining up.
I know. We were gonna play over the weekend, and then I was at my mom's until like 10:30,
Yeah.
and it was by the time we got home, it's like I'm ready for bed.
Well, and by the time you got home, I was burned.
You had been
the
playing
fuck
for-
out.
yeah.
I had been playing all day. I just kept one more timing myself into
Hades.
Yes, it is like that, and the only thing is, sometimes it takes longer to load up a match than it does to actually play and finish one. So that can be frustrating time wise. But I did not realize Spike came out tomorrow.
Gizmo.
It's Gizmo.
I know, right? Total surprise.
Maybe one of his
Spike's-
moves is he turns into Spike.
I don't think so. I think
No?
Spike's a totally different character.
think he's
I think
coming
they-
out later.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
I mean, I know why they're doing Black Adam because of the movie.
Sure.
They're cross promoting with the movie. They're going to do that a lot, I think. But we were looking, Gage, speaking of, before I forget, Gage and I were talking about this. I don't know if this was brought up. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is owned by Warner Brothers Japan. So I definitely want to see some a couple of JoJo characters
It might
show
happen.
up someday. It totally could.
It might happen.
Using their stand powers and stuff. I think that would be
LeBron
great.
James is in the game.
Yes,
Anything could happen.
exactly. Arya Stark in the
Yeah.
game. Arya Stark needs a patch. She's another one that
She's wild, isn't she?
she can be.
She's wild.
People know exactly how to exploit her, and she can be ridiculously overpowered and lethal.
Yeah, she's wild. She's
Unless you're Velma or Rain Dog and can shut that shit down.
even. I mean, if she catches you, there's like this.
Even if you aren't right, if you are playing Velma, but like your best shot at shutting down an Arya Stark is to play one of those two characters because you've got those really good close moves that are all but unbreakable. I mean, they always get priority.
They're super fast. They have good recovery.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, if you've got Arya Stark and Iron Giant in the same game, it's just anything's possible. So I just want to see some JoJo. They put Steven Universe in the game, for fuck's sake. I didn't even know what that was, other than these two ugly characters that I hate looking
Yeah.
at.
I know the girls all adore Steven Universe like so
Really?
much.
I had never even
Kenna
heard of it
loves
before
Steven
this game
Universe.
came out. Well, he
Like,
and
it's up there,
Garnet
like-
are characters in this game.
Because RCAJ will put like, what? Because Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, all in her like perfect trio, and Avatar as like all her perfect shows.
Maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't care for the character art. Like I don't like the way he looks. I don't know, something. It just out of all the characters, to me, he looks the worst, I guess. But they put something as random.
I think his dad's a rock, so
Oh, well, okay.
yeah, they're all like their parents are all like Universal rocks or some shit. Like that's why they're all like Garnet Sapphire, and then Steven's dad was like a rock or something.
Okay.
So
Well, I don't
Chris
get
Rock.
it,
Chris
Kid
Rock,
and I'm sure obviously it
The
appeals.
Rock, Kid Rock, Chris Rock.
the holy trinity of rocks.
Obviously, it appeals. To
All three rocks came in a hole in the Steven Universe.
We are the Quake Force.
but I don't know that. I feel like I don't know that I
Rock
would've-
Lee.
Oh fuck!
I don't know that I would have picked those two characters to be in this game. But
If I don't come more than Dwayne Johnson, then I do not deserve.
The Rock, which starring Sean Connery. Yeah, man, Gizmo. I'm excited. Support character. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, support
Okay.
character with
I do like my support characters.
He's got the bow. He's got the Mogwai song.
Okay, well, I'm in. I'm definitely going to play tomorrow. Then
I hope it's tomorrow. I hope it didn't just completely lie.
I knew something was coming, but I mean, they led me to believe it was Spike because they.
I
put
know
him
they
on
got him in the art and
show
everything,
the
right?
Game art,
And then,
now.
like, what was great about, because Nate shared it in the TADPOG Discord, and like, it was a tweet from Multiverses, and like going there and like reading the comments, the fucking salt, dude.
Oh, God.
the salt, where it's like, if you don't release Rick next week, I'm done. Uninstall.
Dude,
it's
I
just like,
made the
it's great.
mistake of going to the Multiverses
Discord.
subreddit.
Oh man,
To the subreddit.
Oh no. I wonder what's worse, because the Discord is fucking.
Oh, I'm sure
It's a
it's
show,
awful,
man.
but man, that's real time salt. You know, we're talking about just posts that have received 8,000 upvotes of shit just like that. This game is fucking unplayable. You need to nerf Arya Stark right now. And of course, they also refer to one of the guys that makes the game. I think his name is Tony something.
Okay,
or other.
now this I don't know.
Well, one of the devs,
Tony Robbins.
It's not, probably not Tony Robbins, but one
Tony
of the
Romo, since he's injured all the goddamn time, he's probably making video games.
I don't know who is that.
He's a quarterback who shit on me the last season of fantasy football. So
yeah, it's to be expected.
I thought it was like a steakhouse or something. Tony Romo's.
there is some sort of a restaurant like that.
He was like the
Gizmo tomorrow.
All right,
cool.
thanks for confirming that.
he was like the quarterback for the
Cowboys. Yeah.
But no, it's bad. And there's a dev named Tony something or other, I think is his name or whatever. But apparently he is fairly responsive to people, like on Twitter, which is like, God, you poor man. Because, you know, the one or two times that he has responded directly to people messaging him on Twitter or atting him on Twitter about do this or can you do that or
They
is
sent a
this coming?
SWAT team to his house.
Maybe. I
Tony
don't know.
Hunn?
Maybe. That may be right.
Tony, did you say Hun?
Hun, Huynh. Hun.
But I guess he was really responsive, especially when the game first dropped.
We'll teach him.
It's in beta. Well, now every
Just
other...
like they taught us in TADPOG.
Yeah, no shit. Every other response now to someone complaining is, well, just message Tony. And it's like, no,
Yikes.
leave him alone.
Tony's got shit to do.
He doesn't really want to hear from you. They have like a 5-year plan for this game already. I promise you, they're gonna do it their way. Oh, but it is so awful. I mean, I will occasionally go in there to watch a couple of the little videos of what people are doing in the game, and just for fun. But God, it's every other post. It's like, this game is fucking unplayable. I can't understand why you people don't understand that we need this nerfed and we need that fixed. And it's like, God, please shut up. I don't need. They don't need to shut up. I need to stop going to that subreddit.
I took one peek on the Discord. one peek.
That's all it took.
And it was like, oh my God! It's like when
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. It's like,
don't look at it. Don't look at it, Dave.
Yeah. Henry and I are like tied to a tree. I'm like, close your eyes, son.
Keep your eyes shut, Henry. Yes.
Cause man, it was like a holy shit. All it is like shit talking, like turned up to 11, man. Like just like it's you know that like toxic slime that like Morty gets in when he loses?
Yes,
it's like that in Discord form.
It's like the stuff in Ghostbusters 2. It
No,
just
that's
makes
positive
everyone
slime.
hate. I thought that made everyone salty. Like I thought the stuff in Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's the negative slime. Yeah, you're right.
Made
Yeah, they
everyone
got the two
negative.
different slimes.
Just flowing right through the Discord. I just hope that Gizmo isn't as disappointing as Morty was.
Man, yeah.
I haven't given Morty another shot.
Me neither, but I don't want to.
I played against
also.
some good ones.
Me too.
But I don't see
I'm just not
myself
good.
being like that good.
I'm not good enough with the game to like grok how to Morty.
No shit. But yeah, Gizmo, okay. I'm in.
Gizmo's support, so I feel like, I mean, no offense to support players like myself who likes to play Velma, but support seems like it's probably like out of the classes, it's like the easiest of the classes.
I'd say it is only because I think they buff out support characters a little too much because they're support.
Right.
So rather than making them, like the assassin class is the glass cannon of the game. You've got Finn from Adventure Time, Harley Quinn, and Arya Stark are assassin class. They do really high damage really fast, but they're also
the lightest,
easy to hit and easy to damage and easier to knock out in the hands of a somewhat inexperienced player. You can take them down pretty quick because they accumulate damage really fast. And of course, then you got tanks who can take a lot more, but they don't dish it out as much. Yada yada yada. But then the support class is, I find myself not being as supportive as a support class player as I want to be because it's just too easy to deal fucking heavy amounts of damage with your support characters. Like Velma being my main at this point. If I had to pick one, it's her. Because I mean, I have my highest damage with Velma is like at 526 in one round probably on an Iron Giant, if I had to guess.
Probably.
He can take the most.
Velma's damage output is crazy.
It's crazy. You don't even realize you're doing it until the match is over and it shows the damage you did, and it's like, whoa, shit.
And if I'm playing a game as Velma, and because I play 2v2s, if I'm playing a game as Velma, and what I do is stay away and just do projectiles, I know immediately, like if neither of the opponents are focusing on me, we're gonna win. Like 100% with 100% certainty. If you're playing against Velma and one of you is not focusing on her, you're fucking cooked. You are cooked.
She has a very fast, very powerful ranged attack. 2 very fast range attacks
with crazy range
that are literally the entire length of the map range. And if you can keep people off of you while the one charges, she shoots out bubbles of words like jinkies and stuff. and hits other players and knocks them back with this. And then she's got this megaphone that you can either hit them with and weaken them and knock them back, or you can project the megaphone through your partner and it amplifies and gets them again and goes even farther.
And heals your ally.
And it heals them in the process.
Damn.
And you can have a perk where, like, when you punch people, like, you can punch clues will come out, like little cards that look like footprint or they're clues. She picks up clues and gets like this really ridiculous special move where you call the cops and the cop car shows up and goes after the person with the highest damage and traps them in the car and then drives off the side of the map. Sometimes you can get out of it.
That move is wild because sometimes
you have to get them when they're at
sometimes
really
it just
high
gets
damage.
stuck on the map.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was playing on Cromulans and, it's like this stage that has these two giant speakers on either end that can be destroyed. I used Velma's special where she calls the cop.
The speakers were still there,
and the speakers were still there, and the car just in the speaker. Oh, just like it spawned inside the speaker.
Oh.
You just see the front of it just poking out.
Like, well, that was useless.
Sometimes it just hops off the side of the stage for me too. Like sometimes it just sits there. But
Canadian cops.
Yeah. Okay. But when it catches somebody and drives off of the stage, like when it works, it's really nice.
Cool, and it's so frustrating for the other player because there's little to nothing you can do about it before it drives off with them. But those clues that you spawn, if you have a certain perk equipped, your teammate can pick those up and heal, which was what's called with gray health. And so it like takes away, it replaces your health with like a little countdown timer of, it's almost like you get 3 or 4 seconds of free hits.
It's damage reduction.
It's damage reduction. Like you don't take actual damage. It only
temporary hit points.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. And then when they move in for the kill, when they move in to kill Velma, to hit Velma, once they've realized that she's destroying them from across the screen, that's when you start all your close-up attacks, which are fucking nearly unbreakable. The up attack and the side attack and the air attacks and stuff, it's ridiculous how powerful she is. I really hope they don't nerf her because I love her just like she is.
I think that's going to come. I think
they're going to nerf her. I don't want it to happen, but right now.
I'll just play her as much as possible right now.
I am. I have been. She's my cleanup. She's my one guarantee of victory, almost guarantee.
I was telling my brother-in-law about it because, he and my sister, they play a bunch of games, and he was asking me what I've been playing. And I said, I have a lot of multiverses. And he's like, I thought about downloading that. What's it like? And I said, well, it's like Smash Brothers. And he's like, is it balanced at all? And I was like, nah.
No.
You ever played that Sailor Moon fighting game on the SNES? It's like that. Or the Warner Brothers character.
It's like, no, it's not balanced at all. But I mean, it's still fun.
It is fun. I highly recommend everyone give it a shot. It's free. Just get in there and play.
Didn't Phoenix Wright in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 have some sort of mechanic where you collected like 3 clues?
I don't remember.
That tracks with the character.
Yeah.
Because I remember something about him. Like, I remember I wanted to play him, but was no good at him when I tried. Like, no good at all.
Well, Tyler, you should try this one. You might like it.
You might
like Smash Brothers? Was it?
I do.
You'd like this.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's different though in that I know that you like to play Smash Brothers like with a group where it's free for all. You can do this in that game. I haven't done it yet. This feels a little multiverses. It seems like they're trying to be a little more serious, and by that I mean like it feels like they're catering to the people who play Smash Brothers without items, and like who like do 1v1s and 2v2s and that stuff. That seems to me like if that wasn't, that had to been in their mission statement for the game. Where it's like Smash Brothers, but like we're gonna try to scoop up the competitive Smash Brothers players as opposed to the party game Smash Brothers players,
yeah, that's definitely me.
And I feel like that's more your speed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you might love it. Definitely try it. But that would be my trepidation of recommending it to you.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if this is true for everyone. It was for me. There was a learning curve. There was a wall that I hit that I had to overcome when I initially started playing the game of I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you hadn't really played Smash.
And I hadn't really, yeah, I'd never really, I've played Smash Brothers, but not seriously. And I didn't really understand. I kind of went into this not fully understanding the mechanics of the brawl, that brawl type game where you got to ring your opponents out and things like that. But I calmed down and read like the instructions on how to play the character that I'm playing, and I feel like the moves are fairly easy to pull off most of the time. They've made it fairly easy, and everyone's got the same move set. You know, it's an up, down, left, right, or neutral attack on your X and your Y button.
That Smash Brothers model.
Okay.
Same deal there, but it was a little bit foreign to me. But getting into it, being a former Smash Brothers player, or if you like that kind of game, then it's probably going to be fine. It just took me a while to understand what I was supposed to do. Now I get it. Now I'm having a lot of fun because I feel like I can win, because I know I'm at least going to win some, you know. And I've gotten to the point where I'm winning more often than I'm not, although
I go back and forth.
Ranked, yeah, it does depend on the day and who's playing.
Like
and
the other night I had a 90% win rate.
How do you know that?
You go into your profile, and it'll give you an option where you can view leaderboards.
Oh,
and then below that, it gives you information on your recent gameplay, and they'll give you your win rate.
Okay.
And
See, I was wondering how people were doing that because I saw it on that subreddit. I'm in the top 1,000, and I know this should be nerfed because I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, how do you even fucking know that? Because
I'm like in the top, barely in the top 500,000. Like, I mean, like,
right?
yeah. And it's
I haven't even looked at that. I don't even know.
I don't know how quick. I don't know how often it updates either. Yeah. But my point was the other night is like I had a 90% win rate, and it's because I was doing good. Everything was clicking. I ran across somebody online. We also clicked, and then we just played for an hour and a half together as a team. And it's like we dominated. And then it's like I've had like last night where it's like I had a 40% win rate.
Yeah.
Where it's just like nothing was working. I didn't meet up with it. I didn't have a teammate where we really worked well with each other. And it was just like I was having an off night. And it was just kind of one of those where it's like it swings widely from one side to the other for me.
It really does for me too. Some days I'm just on fire, and others I just can't even move right. You know, I can't get anything to work. So
that's when I try to learn a new character. Because it's like
when
I started
it's kind of fresh, you're like resetting.
Yeah.
In a way.
Because when I'm doing bad, it's like, fuck, man, I'm going to do bad with a character I'm good with. Might as well be bad with a character and learn it.
Might as well buy up get some levels. Yeah. Get some levels on this character. Because you can do at low levels, you can do really badly and still level up. So
yeah,
it works that way. Oh,
yo,
hello.
Cinnamon rolls.
My beautiful wife has brought cinnamon rolls.
Thanks.
How are you doing? Good.
She's ready to talk about Indiana Jones next week.
Are you gonna come on Indiana Jones with us?
Talk with us about Indiana Jones.
Oh, I got a head bob. Okay.
I saw
what she said.
She said maybe.
She said maybe. Was it a real maybe or was it?
She does love Indiana Jones.
There you go.
What is that? I don't. There you go. Are you trying not to have any?
Yeah, I don't. They smell really good, but I don't want any.
Can I put this there?
Yeah, so you sit right there on that D&D book. That'll work.
We're at about an hour and a half almost. You want to take a little fiver?
Sure.
Cinnamon roll break.
A little pause for a
cinnamon roll break. Okay.
Pissin' cinnamon rolls.
Back in a bit.
Fuck off, Hitler.
We're back.
We're back. The dinosaur movie. A dinosaur tale. With John Goodman.
A.K.A. Fred Flintstone.
A.K.A.
The Cyclops.
John Goodman.
From Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
What else is he in?
The Cyclops
Never seen
from
it.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Dan Connor.
What?
Connor.
Is that from Terminator?
Mr. Cloverfield.
Raising Arizona. He was Mr. Cloverfield. He was in Raising Arizona. He was in
That sitcom that last 3 episodes where he was a gay dad.
Yeah.
He
I
was
didn't know that
the toll booth worker in Cody Ugly because his daughter was the.
Jesus, I
girl
forgot
who
about
left.
that.
That's obscure. That's obscure.
Welcome back to our Dan Goodman podcast. Dan Goodman.
Dan
I just
Goodman. Yeah.
conflated John Goodman and Dan Connor.
Good enough.
Dan Goodman. Our apologies go out to Dan Goodman.
He was in a Denzel Washington movie. I can't remember. Fallen. That's the
Yeah,
one.
he's really good in Fallen.
Training Day.
movie.
He was
Yeah, he was
great.
That was
Throw out Ethan Hawke. Bring in John.
You're thinking of Undercover Boss. How many times on Undercover Boss do you think that the employees are like, fuck, I'm an undercover boss? Because it's always seems like so like obvious to me. I don't watch it, but like clips show up and it's like this like all of a sudden there's this really tall, smart dude with great glasses on our French fry team.
We put him in overall, so he blends in with the common man. And then he's got like the mustache with just the chin shaved, and then like going down the side.
clearly professionally groomed.
And he's always saying things like, don't worry about it. Or he hugs somebody.
I don't know. They did it to Dippin' Dots, the Dippin'
Did
Dots
they?
people here, and I think it worked.
Oh, well, see, that's probably why I didn't see a clip of it. Because I'm seeing the clips of all like the incredibly dramatic, like, undercover boss tells off shift supervisor. You know what I mean?
Now this one was they brought in somebody else for. I can't remember. I should know this because my son works for Dippin' Dots, but they brought him in and had him working in the factory and stuff. And I think it was like a new CEO or something. Somebody coming in to help.
Was it for
Get
the
them
show?
back on their. Yeah, it was on the show.
Wow.
And there was a whole episode about Dippin' Dots.
Dang.
But it was something after because Dippin' Dots had some financial troubles for a little while, and then they were brought back and everything.
Yeah, my cousin worked for him
everything
for like
was fine.
20 years and then got laid off. My cousin, who reminds me of you,
Oh yeah.
yeah, got laid off and then I think he went to work for Lay. But yeah, I remember it was a big thing because he worked for them forever and put everything into it. And then
That sucks.
But now,
laid
like
off.
Dippin' Dots has been picked up by Icy.
Oh,
Like they're owned now by
Big Polar Bear.
much larger company, which is, but they're apparently being left to do their thing. They're just they were acquired, but not like overtaken, and you know,
Right.
they're not like going to outsource it to Taiwan now or something. It's just they're just under new corporate ownership, but it's like the company that makes Icy.
you know who owns Icy, right? EA.
It's in the dots. I was hoping, I misread at some point the company. I thought the company that had bought them was the ones that made Sour Patch Kids, and I was going to be like, "Yo, Gage, get me some Sour
Who
Patch
does make
Kids."
Sour Patch Kids? I would assume that was like Nestle or something.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up right now because it's really important to me in this moment. And I'm gonna do it Ask Jeeves style. I'm gonna actually ask the question: who makes Sour Patch Kids?
Dippin' Dots is weird. They took so when we had Cohen's, I told you Cohen turned 6 on Labor Day. Well, we had his actual sort of party the previous Saturday at Chuck E. Cheese. We took him to Chuck E. Cheese, and apparently Gage had a card that already had something like 2,000 tickets on it, because I guess Dippin' Dots took their employees all to Chuck E. Cheese for an employee thing, and the way it works now is you buy time
Right.
on cards or whatever.
At
and
Kenna's
you can-
party, that's how it was.
You play as much as you can in that time, and you just all the tickets get accumulated on the card or whatever. Well, I guess they bought one card or two cards, and all the employees were just using the same card, and they'd go around and scan and play skee ball and then scan it again and just keep it. So you had like 2,000 tickets, and they all just said, "Here, take these and give them to Cohen." And so we had
Damn.
Cohen's birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, and we did the same
That's
thing.
awesome.
We bought a couple of cards with like an hour's worth of playtime, which is a fucking expensive endeavor, I might add. But we did the same thing. It was me and Tanya and Gage and Mandy, which is Cohen's mom, and Mandy's mother, his other grandmother. And we just skee-balled the shit out of this thing for like a solid hour. Cohen ended up with like 4,600 tickets. And
Got himself a comb.
Cohen's
Yep.
between
Comb
the
and a
Pez
Tootsie Roll.
dispenser and the erasers, but not about but the thing about Cohen too is though, like, he's the kind of kid who is very wise for his age. He thinks things through. He wants to make, like, before he will blow out the candles on his birthday cake, he will consider very long and hard about what wish he's going to make. You know, like, the candles are melting the wax and we've sung the song and he is just thinking about his wish. He wants his...
I don't want some evil genie to hit the path of least resistance and fuck this over. I got to think of every contingency.
Exactly. So he makes his wish and blows out the candles when they're like, a millimeter long at this point. But when you hand a kid like him 4,600 Chuck E. Cheese tickets, it's a long time before we got to leave because
There are so many colors of erasers to choose
He
from.
was being very selective about what he wanted. He wanted to maximize his loot from here. He could have got one big thing, but he didn't want one big thing. He wanted a bunch of little things, which is fine. That's
Take
what I
a
would have
vanilla
done.
Tootsie Roll. That'll be my 2:00 snack.
Yes.
Let's see. One jumping frog. That'll be for bath time. All right.
He did get a jumping frog.
There you go.
Now I have to ask, why'd you go to vanilla Tootsie Roll? It's funny. It's funnier than Tootsie Roll, but why was there a specific reason vanilla Tootsie Roll? Do you know someone in your life who prefers vanilla Tootsie Rolls?
I feel like
I prefer vanilla, the
Do you?
candy, the fruity or whatever, the alternate Tootsie Rolls to a regular Tootsie Roll.
Vanilla included,
Vanilla included. But I know that's usually what is
discarded.
discarded or either it's discarded or sought out. Like one kid will be like, I was always that one kid like,
Polarized.
be one of those.
Okay.
But yeah.
I feel like that's the only place you can get alternate flavored Tootsie
That's
Rolls.
true. I don't
is
see
at
them
Chuck
in
E.
any
Cheese.
other
I've
place.
never
Oh,
seen
They have them
anywhere
at Chuck E.
else.
Cheese. I just
Yeah,
figured
they
it was
do.
like you bought them from a Halloween candy company.
I
you know
used
what
to
I
get
mean?
them in trunk or treats
It's like
when I was little.
I never in my life have seen them in the wild unless it's fucking trick or treat. Where
No,
it's like,
they-
it's time for some fucking red Tootsie Rolls.
They have weird flavors of stuff, of candy at Chuck E. Cheese, but each piece is 2 tickets. So, they've got it all barcoded out now, though, so they can just you
Yeah.
want 5 Tootsie Rolls? Beep, 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 beep. Okay, there you go.
I'd
They
like
have Dippin' Dots at
2,300
Chuck E.
Tootsie
Cheese.
Rolls.
You're like so much kinder than I am because Henry's like, what's that over there? Pointing at the counter with all the stuff. And it's like, I don't know, man. Let's go. We did explain to him like the tickets and stuff when we were playing like some game they had there, which was like a coin pusher essentially. And I remember I was like really trying to impress on him where it's like, or you can just make money and buy stuff with money. You could, I don't know, like do chores around the house, get some money, buy some candy.
Buy whatever you want, not just what's behind the counter at Chuck E. Cheese.
That's where poor people come in and barter for pizza. And that's what they give up. You don't want to go over there.
He's like, I don't understand. We're not bartering for pizza. Shut up, son.
Don't rub in people's faces, Henry. Come on.
Yeah, it's you got to get out of that Chuck E. Cheese ecosystem, man. They really get your tickets tied up, convert your dollars to tickets.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's
I'm
all
just
for
teasing.
The,
It's
it
fun.
is. It's for the experience. It's not nearly as much as it used to be. Like
I
as
know.
far as like what you can
sad.
do. Like back in the day, there were real arcade games in there that
yeah.
you could play with tokens and.
And there's something about not seeing a machine spit out a stream of tickets.
Yeah.
Like that was always fun. I know why they went to the cards because it's probably cheaper, and then also
it's a fuck ton
people
cheaper.
can't pull the tickets out of the.
Very slowly.
I was the fucking master
Yeah.
at stealing tickets from Chuck E.
But
Cheese.
it's like, look, man, when you're charging what you're charging,
Right.
Come on.
I'm
What do you
gonna.
gotta
Or
do?
one bully comes over there and hits another kid and takes all their tickets. So
That is true.
And plus, the tickets thing is not super environmentally friendly. I mean, there's a lot of wasted paper. I know they probably did something. They probably just threw them out.
Probably.
They were like recycling.
Let's
them, I don't
not give
imagine.
Chuck E. Cheese the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt.
I got to that point. I'm like, wait, no. A, it was the '80s, and B,
they stapled them back together, sanitized them, wound them back up, put them back in the machine.
But
It's the 80s and we love children.
Come to the rat casino.
he had a good time. I don't know that we're going to be doing that again anytime soon. But he's 6, and we've now been there twice in his life. So, I suppose it could happen again. But I think he's aging out of that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. You never know, right? Kids
I
are
would
weird
say
like
it's
that.
more of a let's go back whenever one of your buddies from school is having a party, and you can get the experience without breaking the bank.
Yeah. Pool parties are where it's at.
Yeah.
Like that's been like Henry's been invited to so many pool parties. Like that's been kind of the thing. That and like skate parties, which I think is awesome. That it's like
Skate parties are cheap. Yeah.
they are cheap. But
Like
they're all
Kingsway,
yeah.
like at the skating rink.
Yeah, but it's all like been like activity based, which I think is really neat, as opposed to like when we were kids, it was like, oh, you having a birthday? All right, Showbiz Pizza. Here we fucking
Commerce-based.
come, like every time.
Yeah.
Which is like I loved it, but it's like now looking back, it's like man, my mom sat through so many of those parties with strangers, children. You know what I mean?
Oh, I went as a teenager so many times where we'd ironically all go to Chuck E. Cheese for somebody's 16th birthday party.
Right.
So I remember doing that for Jacob. We did it for Shake. And
I do like the pizza.
Melissa also
It's
loves the
decent
pizza.
I mean, we were talking about this the other night, but I think a lot of it is because it's like I just don't have it, but like once every 4 years. Kind
Right.
of
You can
deal.
buy it frozen.
I
They
don't
sell
think
frozen
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Melissa loves the apple pizza most of all.
Apple?
The apple
I didn't know they
dessert
had
pizza.
apple pizza.
It is,
Oh, I
it
got
is
dessert
really
pizza.
good. Yep.
They don't just straight up put apple slices.
Apples and pepperoni. There you go, asshole.
I mean, I was on board. Man, you do apples and bacon. I mean, it's like
Apple,
all right.
bacon, and cheddar?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll eat that pizza.
Pizza Inn's dessert pizzas are where it's at.
Yeah, Pizza
If you're
Inn.
willing to fucking go into the Thunderdome for 'em.
Pizza Inn gives me the fucking heebie-jeebies.
It is the Pizza Thunderdome in there.
The
the
It is.
secret is yellow cake mix for sauce.
Yeah.
That's the base of all their dessert pizzas. So
I see that now
We
that
do
you
those at
mention
work and sell them out. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the trick is yellow cake.
Okay.
mix.
I'll keep that in mind.
I get the heebie-jeebies in Pizza Inn because it's like scripture on the wall and stuff.
dude,
it's always
it's-
just kind of
it's
like
Every other
such
day
a-
is like an event youth group fundraiser, so it's all just like you don't want to walk into some random church as the server for
right.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Anna did those all the time.
Oh,
for
really?
her youth group.
Yeah.
our art teacher, Ruth.
Yeah.
She was a server at Pizza Inn.
Really?
for
I
a
didn't know that.
For a long time.
Yeah.
It was just a side job.
While she taught?
Yeah,
I
because they
had
don't pay
no
her, They
idea.
didn't pay her shit. They don't
Well,
pay
yeah.
teachers anything.
No,
so
they
yeah,
don't.
she was hustling at Pizza Inn on that
So
side.
teaching
gig.
was her side hustle compared to
Well, and I hated it too because we would occasionally go in there and like Ruth would come up and wait on us. Of course, the waitresses, the servers at Pizza Inn are just refilling drinks and bringing
Sure.
you plates. They're not serving you because it's a buffet.
Right.
But at the same time, I felt weird. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yes.
Ruth was a very good friend of mine, and she and we all really bonded with her in high school, you know. And I hated her having to wait on me and like, you don't have to
you
do
sit
that.
down. You sit down. I'll get you a drink.
Yeah,
can I get-
right.
what can I get
And that's
for
how
you?
Ian worked at Pizza Inn for 4 years.
I just couldn't bear to see it. She sat down and I did all the work and she got paid. That's the way it should be. But yeah, you wanna get into it with some total. Besides the religious artifacts hanging on the walls and stuff. I mean, it's pretty.
It's a weird place.
Pretty weird.
It's a
Pete's
weird
place.
place.
It's like the reverse of TGI Fridays type of thing, where instead of having kooky crap on the wall, they've got a lot of just very Christian.
Praise Satan, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like aggressive. It is aggressively
in your
Christian
face.
stuff. Like, I mean,
in your face.
And it's like
They know their market.
yes,
Dude,
no
they
shit.
really do.
And it's like I have nothing against Christians, or if you're
No.
like a Christian-owned business, that's fine.
But I mean, I think
But
there
it
needs
is-
to be a separation of church and pizza. You know what I mean?
But it does creep me out when I go in a restaurant, and it's like, wow, this is like giving off like heavy, aggressive vibes.
But
So how many for? Are you all saved, or we have different seating? We have segregated dining.
we're doing baptisms today for a 25% discount.
I saw
Great soda.
Sign me up. Oh, yeah, you get a free soda. A free kid-sized soda.
With every baptism.
I saw a
No
Twitter
refills.
where a Twitter where someone was really
You have to drink the water from the baptismal font. After your first one, you can have all that water you want, but only one soda.
They got coupons that go out in the Sunday paper.
Yeah, they do. I had a guy who was
half off your baptism
Uh-huh.
pizza.
I think I mentioned that the guy that owns that place, I fixed his iPhone a number of times. And
Oh,
he
yeah?
would always pay me and then give me a coupon for a free buffet.
Oh.
It's like I had like 3 of those at once. I was like, let's go to Pizza Inn. We're eating for free tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're good people. They're nice, but you're not wrong.
believe
It's
it.
just a little bit weird.
It's just a little
get
weird.
that. And not to mention the fact that in such a obviously overtly Christian environment, you can get into a fight at Pizza Inn.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. Because if people going to be grabbing for that last slice of pepperoni or standing in the line and not moving because they're waiting for someone to bring out the next.
The macaroni and cheese pizza. I'm
next-
waiting. They said they were going to bring it out.
Well, can I go around? I don't know what I'm
No
supposed to do
cutsies.
here. And then the dessert pizza table. If someone is spotted, if one of the employees is spotted coming out of the kitchen with a
Oh, yeah.
dessert pizza, it's like a shark swarm. People just jump up, you know, they leave their food unattended on the table and run to the dessert pizza bar so they can get the first dibs on the pineapple pizza.
And that's when the atheists sneak in and eat all the table scraps.
Drink all that free soda.
I'll never forget that one. I mean, back in high school and church, that one woman who could scream at like 40 decibels at Pizza Inn, where you'd see her walk out, pepperoni pizza! Just for
Yeah.
everything that came out, just like filled the fucking restaurant with this same up and down, up and down, up and down cadence for whatever it was.
Should we buy a PA? No, we got Betty.
Yep.
Betty's louder than any PA. We priced them out. We can't afford a louder PA than Betty.
She's like one of the characters from Beauty and the Beast who's been enchanted. She actually is a PA. And when the beast turns human, we're fucked, man.
We got to keep him. That's what Jesus keeps the beast the beast.
Well, see, one of the other things too that's messed up about Pizza Inn was the fact that, like back in the '80s, it was like kind of dark pizzeria, arcadey, you know.
Yep.
I never ate
It
there
was
back
like
then.
that, and there was also a Godfather's in the Wagner Candy Company just behind it. The great
Really?
big factory back there.
Yeah.
It used to be Wagner Candy Company.
Captain D's used to be over there.
Yeah.
Shoney's used to be in Bike World.
But Godfather's
that I
Pizza, yes, Godfather's Pizza was in a section of the Wagner Candy Company,
Yeah.
and it was like that too. You had like the tabletop Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, and
Love that shit,
all that
man.
shit. And Pizza Inn was like that. It had kind of a nice atmosphere, and it was kind of cool. And what now it's like super brightly lit, and it's like 100 degrees below zero in there. They always keep it like super cold. This the environment.
That sounds nice.
God's
just
love will
not-
keep you warm.
It's just not as welcoming and warm an environment as it used to be.
Man, pizzerias in general, I feel like I know when you said like when you said like pizzeria in the 80s, like it like totally set like that's an atmosphere.
Yes.
That doesn't
Dark,
exist.
red booths.
Yes.
Everything's that's the way showbiz used to be. Showbiz
Yeah.
and Chuck E.
Pizza Hut
Cheese.
used to be like that.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut was like that. It was like a vibe that
It was almost like
really liked.
like when I see a British pub on
Yes.
like TV or something. It had like that kind of like cozy vibe to it. But
And
like
I love that. That's the smell of pizza and the kind of dark and the red booths and the, you know, I
You go to
love that
Victor's Sandwiches in
atmosphere.
Murray, you still get that.
Oh, is that right? Are they
Victor's is
still like
very
that?
much like that, and they still have the tables with Miss Pac-Man or whatever where you sit down. It's
Flat
the table
tabletop,
itself.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, good. At least that vibe
it
hasn't
still
completely
remains
died.
somewhere. But I remember someone on Twitter, just because you said the baptism, that someone on Twitter was so pissed that they got a call from their child to come bring them clothes at school. It's like, why, did you have an accident? No, I got baptized. The whole school baptized 2,500 kids.
The school did? Like the principals out there?
it
Like
was a
they set up a dunking booth?
It was
where they throw baseballs. Boom! You're baptized! You're
There you go.
baptized!
If they called it baptized, more people would want to do it.
Trampoline?
That's the Baphomet version where you get Baphomized.
I don't want that either.
But it was a private school, but they didn't ask for permission from any parents. They just had like a preacher came in and had a mass baptism for the whole school.
Eesh.
And like,
God, can you fucking imagine?
No.
I mean, was it like when you said private school, I mean, I'm assuming it's like,
It may be a Christian school,
Yeah.
but like there should be like a permission slip.
There's still a certain
I mean, I
level of-
agree.
It's a
but
Friday baptism.
But I'm just saying my level of surprise went from way up here
No,
to
that's
down.
like lawsuits
'Cause
to frustrating.
Annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I went to a Catholic school for a minute, and it's like, I mean, that wasn't great, but like, I can see, like, I don't know, shit's different.
Yeah.
It is.
Shit's different.
It is. It is. I went to Catholic school myself. Did they get free soda at least?
Hope so. Probably milk back then.
Yeah, chocolate milk.
Everybody get your baptism and your chocolate milk.
When's the first time you heard the term lactose intolerant? How old were you, do you think?
Shit, it's been probably in the last 20 years.
Wasn't Quail Man lactose intolerant? Mm-hmm. Was that like his weakness?
I don't know.
It had to be in that sort of context. Be the first time I would have heard
that you would have heard of it.
Yeah.
But even that was like mid-90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember in like fourth grade, there was a kid, or maybe even earlier than that, he was allergic to milk, is what they said. They
Right.
didn't say lactose intolerant.
He was allergic to milk.
milk. So I don't know. It's been I'd say somewhat recently that the term became, at least in the common vernacular.
I was just curious,
I
'cause
don't know. It wasn't like a long time.
Yeah.
It wasn't when I was a kid.
It just seems like something I didn't hear until a certain time, and then it was just kind of like oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some people can't drink milk. Okay, I had no idea. I don't like milk. Some people can't drink it.
We buy the lactose-free milk from like Great Value brand lactose-free milk. 'Cause
I didn't know that
it,
existed.
it gives me a little bit of the guts.
Yeah.
Regular old milk does.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant.
I am to a
Oh,
point.
well, there you
I mean,
go.
I can eat cheese and stuff, but like I'm not like severe. But it's milk. It's specifically
It's just milk,
milk
not
that
dairy
really
products.
fucks me up. Yeah.
Sam and Max had a villain named Lactose the Intolerant.
Oh,
Nice.
that's we should build a D&D god pantheon. Are built around lactose the intolerant.
Yakko was lactose intolerant.
Ah, okay. What was Quailman's weakness?
It didn't
Like
say.
taking his shirt off or something?
Probably. But what was it? Just speaking, not like you said, I don't like milk. Immediately, Ed Alric pops into my head. Milk is bad in anything but stew. But seeing what a TikTok about that broke down as like Ed's stature had something to do with the human transmutation.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
It pulled so much from his own body that he was short because of everything he put into the transmutation circle.
Really?
Yep.
That's neat. I like milk and cereal.
It has to be in a dessert context.
Yeah.
I do not like I'll tell RCAJ that she's crazy because she'll just get in there, just get a glass of milk and just drink it, or make a sandwich and have a glass of milk. It's like, can't do it. Has to be with some sort of dessert. Oreos, cake, cookie, otherwise milk, no.
I'm not. When I was a kid, I had a glass of milk with dinner every night. That was my parents. I got milk.
Yeah.
That was it. But now it's like I can't just drink milk. I have to have it in cereal.
Unless
That's
it's
really
ice
the only
cold.
time I will drink milk is in cereal, and then I guess I'm sort of eating it. I don't know. I think we talked about this too. So there's a doctor of mine that when I was a kid said that milk was actually a food and not a drink.
I mean, doctors say all kinds of
They
things.
do say shit. But no, I won't just drink it now. I don't even drink it with like cake or anything. Like it's coffee. Anything sweet or desserty, I have coffee
That's fair.
with. But cereal, I will eat.
How
with
much?
milk.
How much milk do you put in your cereal?
I try not to go crazy in the mornings on breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have like a small bowl. Like it's a small bowl.
Okay,
It's
you're making
this-
like a soup
I'm
bowl
making like
size.
like a soup bowl, like tiny soup bowl size with
Mm-hmm.
my hands of cereal. So, so I'll fill the bowl with cereal and then I'll pour the milk until it's almost to the top.
Okay,
So relative to the cereal, I'd say it's close to at least 1/3 milk in the bowl.
okay. I feel like that's a good ratio. That's a solid ratio.
That way, I'm just not because I'm not gonna pour more cereal onto my remaining milk
Yeah,
because that's just an endless circle for me.
and you're definitely not going to drink the milk
I'm
out
all
of the
about.
bowl.
Well, I do that.
You
if
do
there's
that?
If there's
I'm
a little
surprised to hear
left,
that.
if there's a little left, I'll
Yeah.
just drink it out.
Uh-huh.
Which is usually I try to. I'm all about balance. You know, I want the cereal
gotta-
and the milk to deplete at the same
Sure.
rate. So you know, if I left the amount of milk in the bottom and added cereal, then I'd have to add a little more milk, and then it would be never ending, and I'd go through the whole box.
My
of
dad
cereal.
used to get mad because I'd pour the milk out, and it was like,
Oh, really?
I'm not going to drink that.
Not drinking the cereal.
Not
milk.
drinking it. Not. I don't care what you say. I'm not drinking that cereal
If
milk.
you guys are lawful cereal consumers and milk consumers, I am the chaotic as fuck one. Because they're right, the girls, none of them will touch it. None of them will drink cereal
I
milk.
think it's just a personal preference. I don't think it has something to do with someone's
alignment.
alignment.
Well, so I'll take a huge bowl, like one of the biggest bowls I've got, cereal up to the top, and then milk until some of the cereal is falling out of the bowl.
Yeah.
Pick that up. That goes back on top. Let it set. Let it set for a little while.
Oh, you marinate your
I
cereal.
want it to be a little soggy. So then I'll eat the cereal, and there's a lot of milk left. So then I chug the remainder of the milk. Like it takes me a good like 4 to 5 seconds to chug the remainder of the milk. But I like cereal milk. So like I could do a one of the milkshakes they do where they funnel the milk through the cereal, whatever, and make milkshakes at various places.
Yeah.
So
To me, that sounds the most lawful of all because you have
Oh,
an
yeah.
entire ritual and you wait
Oh,
for
yeah, it's
your
true.
you
Yeah,
wait
yeah,
for
you're
your
right.
cereal
You're
to
right.
I
get to
have
the perfect sogginess.
I have
Okay.
damaged my mouth on Captain Crunch
Oh,
because I won't
yes.
wait. I'm digging right in. I'm crunching.
No,
I'm like,
never wait. Are you kidding? Never wait. It's not Captain Crunch unless you taste the blood.
exactly.
Like there's no other way.
The roof
man.
of my mouth is so raw, and plus I've got this giant bump in the roof of my mouth.
Right,
So
yeah.
that was particularly Captain Crunch sensitive.
Same with pizza, man. I know I've told this story on the show before, but like I've been to the dentist before, and the dentist was like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? To your mouth?
of my mouth leprosy.
What do you mean? The roof of your mouth is like peeling
Scorched.
off." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I had pizza. When? Last night." Why does it look like this? Well, because I, ate it really hot. It's like, don't do that. Whatever. You're not my boss, dentist.
Take your money and shut up.
The boss of my
I don't
mouth.
see how this involves my fucking teeth.
Talk to my mouth roofologist if I want commentary.
I'll burn as much fucking skin off my mouth as I want
Just clean my teeth and shut the fuck up, man.
to. Also, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your hard work.
Speaking of cereal, I was watching. I've started watching the Orville again
Yeah.
from the beginning because season 3 finally came out and they put it out on Disney Plus. So I just started over because it's been a few years since I watched it and I wanted to get like
Wow.
fresh.
It has been on for a little bit, hasn't it?
Season 3 just came out recently. There was like a 2-year gap there. I think COVID had a lot to do with that. But Paul Korn mentioned it in the Discord. And, obviously gives it very high praise, as do I. But there was something they said I was watching one of the early episodes earlier today. And, God, I cannot stress, it was some joke about cereal, and I'm not going to get into and tell the joke, but I cannot stress enough how fucking funny and good the Orville is. So I wanted to, he made a Frankenberry joke, and it just got me because the guy gets me. What can I say? But it's just a really fucking hilarious show, and I had to. Talking about cereal got me thinking about the Frankenberry joke. I mean, I've literally was in my truck earlier, and I thought about it and laughed. I can't remember the last time I laughed out loud thinking about something I saw on TV earlier. So
I saw the one where those aliens discover cigarettes and use the replicator to make 5,000 cigarettes.
It's been I've seen it, but it's been a minute. For me,
it was good. It made me laugh.
Yeah. He would. Okay, I'll try to relay it.
I was hoping you were going to tell the joke.
He and his ex-wife. The first thing that happens in the show is that he walks in on his wife at the time sleeping with an alien.
This is William H. Macy, right?
No, it's Rob Lowe. Who's a blue alien.
Okay.
He spooges everywhere out of his face. Blue stuff goes everywhere when he walks in. And so they divorce, and he gets over it eventually and finally gets command of the Orville, but he needs a first officer, and they assign her to be his first officer. And of course, there's all this tension. He keeps fucking digging at her about cheating on him and stuff, and it just keeps fucking taking every opportunity he can to dig at her about it. Well, at one point in one of the episodes, episode 3 or 4, they get kidnapped by this race of aliens that thinks they're superior to everyone, and they put them in sort of a zoo. But they use their memories to construct the cage. So it's like their old apartment. They're in their old apartment. And after they've been in there for about a week, they're not really speaking to one another or whatever. They're kind of frustrated, obviously, that they're being held prisoner and all this. And it's silent in the room, except you can hear her eating cereal, and she's slowly scraping the spoon against the bowl, and he's drinking a beer. And he's like, would you please stop? You know how much I hate listening to people eat cereal. And she goes, you're drinking a beer. It's 9:00 in the morning. And he's like, I'll have you know that the Germans do. And she's like, you're not German. And then he goes, well, you're not fucking Frankenberry. So shut the The fact that this show takes place so far in the future, yet they still make jokes that are relatable, just makes it that much better. I don't know that we'll still be referring to Frankenberry in 400 years, but
God, I hope so.
I hope so.
Frankenberry must never die.
Senator Frankenberry. That's all. I mean, we're pretty far in 2 hours. Unless there's anything else you guys want to.
I think we've done
over.
Plenty of healthy riffing today.
Sure.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah.
Feel good. All right. Well, okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, not SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, all over the place. Where we are accepting packages. So, TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, PO Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. And voicemails, 270-883-2555. Most importantly, I think we have the Patreon and Ian's Toy Box.
That's right. Happy to announce that I mailed out the packages to our first, second, and third place winners from the August Patreon Rush contest. I was happy that the winners got in touch with me so quickly, and I was able to get those dispatched out to them.
Which email address did they use?
It was Discord that they used to get in touch with me.
all those great email
Keep
addresses.
waiting for the suicideboys.fun. But anyway, I did get with them. I got their addresses, which I have now discarded. I've deleted, so we don't keep that stuff on file, I promise. But they should have those packages by now. by the time this episode airs. So I hope you guys enjoy your winnings. Thank you again for entering the contest, and fear not, because we're having another one. We're in the midst of another contest right now. But before I get into the details of that, I am going to go through our list of who we call our executive producers. These are the lovely people who donate $20 or more per month to the show. And I'm going to start that list off with Cousin David Galino, Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Executive Producer Dig Dougie, Gethusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, our newest Executive Producer Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Usurper Grimm, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Landon, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first time caller, and Drink Smith Joey Webster. We're so grateful. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
for your wonderful donations. And thanks to everyone who donates. All of that money goes to such a good cause. We do love to do the show, and this helps us out a great deal, being able to bring this high quality podcasting content to you every single week. And speaking of the new donations, as with last month, we are running another contest. It's we're still pulling stuff out of Wiz and Sage's big black and yellow toy box. I got all kinds
what a
of
different direction.
Yeah.
Wiz and Sage's big black and yellow toy box.
I've been on the internet for a long time, man. My brain
Don't Google
definitely
that.
filled in some blanks.
Don't Google that.
Remember the first stuff's like, Doctor Who comes on what channel?
I've got a lot of cool stuff that I've collected over the years. A lot of it's Star Wars stuff, but it's fun, and I want to give that stuff away because all it's doing is sitting in a box, not serving a purpose, and I want it to be enjoyed and given to people that will appreciate it. So, as another version of last month's contest, we're not going to have 3 winners this month, just the one winner. Any donation of $1 or more, or an increase of your current donation as of September 1st through the 30th of this year, September of this year, you will be entered to win a selection of toys from that toy box. And if you don't believe me, you can ask our previous winners. This was Bovine Bear, this was Green Stash, and Michael May. All won, and they're having their prizes, and
They're all plants.
all of them.
Yep.
Yeah, like what was the sweepstakes? What was that whole thing? Like the Publishers Clearinghouse?
Oh,
was that all real?
I mean, they made it seem real. I don't know if it was.
I mean, I mean,
I read what is it? The Berenstain Bears.
yeah, the Mandela effect.
Yep. Ed McMahon was never involved with Publishers Clearinghouse.
What?
His picture was on the envelope.
I remember I watched a big thing where everybody remembers Ed McMahon being involved.
Yeah.
There's he was never involved.
Well, then why do I think that he was?
I thought that too. I was like, are they trolling me? Because I could have swore they're showing back all the commercials and shit. Look back, and it's just
I gotta look this up.
That's not right. The dude was involved. His picture. We got those envelopes every year. His picture was on the envelope. It was Ed McMahon.
The Mandela Effect, Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse on Snopes.com. Here are several reasons why so many Americans think they remember entertainer Ed McMahon working for Publishers Clearinghouse. This is by Jordan Lyles, published May 20th, 2022. Updated May 24th. So hopefully at the very end, he's like, JK.
oh, never mind, found it.
He definitely was.
The claim is on Snopes. Entertainer Ed McMahon was a spokesperson for Publishers Clearinghouse. The rating is false. There's no evidence that McMahon ever worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. Well, this is sort of getting into some weird legal language, because I never would have said he was the spokesperson for them, right? But I mean, surely he was involved in something.
I would have called him the spokesperson because I remember him being on the fucking commercials.
Okay, here we go. He was, however, a spokesperson for American Family Publishers.
Oh, okay,
And
okay. Fair enough.
In
fair
old
enough.
television commercials for American Family Publishers, the word publishers appeared much smaller than American Family.
Okay. All right, so I had the...
So that was just clever marketing that
yeah.
we fell for.
Everybody fell for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you imagine being Publishers Clearinghouse and be like, those motherfuckers over there at American Publishing? Fuck those
Fucking Egg
guys.
McMahon. They've got Egg McMahon. We'll just say it was us. Though people will think it was
We'll
us.
get Carson. We won't. Shit.
Oh, fuck. Well, our contest is also not promoted by Ed McMahon, but it is promoted by your rather wizened sage, and I promise you, if you win, you will get some stuff. Now, we already have 2 entries for this month. Jonathan Martinez, Naj, he has entered again. He wants some of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's his second
It's
in a
good
row
stuff.
entry. It's good stuff.
Big,
You should enter.
big supporter of my Shining Force stream.
Nice.
Naj,
Good.
He's there constantly. Yep.
Excellent. And then also Joseph Phillips, our newest executive producer, has been entered to win as well. So we've only got 2 entrants at this point. They each have a 50-50 chance. You want to reduce those chances? You want to get yourself in there? Donate $1 or more, or increase your current donation by $1 or more before September 30th, and you will be entered to win some stuff from the toy box. That's patreon.com/tadpog.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. How you guys want to close it out? Like Ed McMahon?
Sure.
Publishes there. So until next time.
Corn.
Yes.
You are correct, sir.
And now a dramatic reading in celebration of Gizmo being in multiverses.
What page are you reading from?
Let's see.
We need a third copy of Gremlins 2. Please send us a third
we're in
copy.
desperate need.
I need to be able to participate in this.
Ian, tell me when to stop.
Yeah.
Did you say meow?
Yes.
40.
Did you say?
We'll do
Do you
49.
think I said meow? What am
Okay.
I, a cat?
So it looks like they're. You want to split the page?
Here's what I would love to do. I want us to, instead of doing it dramatically, I want us to just try to read it at exactly the same time in the exact same way.
Okay. How much that first section?
Just as much as we want to do.
Okay.
What are you doing? There's not much air in the building, sir, said the technician, pointing at quivering needles in the meters. Forrester sniffed and mentally calculated costs on the calculator embedded in his brain. At 4 o'clock, people go into a slump.
Then we give them oxygen. The technician, used to such a cold-hearted attitude.
Used to. We were both, I feel like we were both like, used to.
Used to?
Yeah. It's hard.
Such a cold-hearted attitude. Just shrugged.
Yes, sir.
The oxygen knobs stayed where they were.
Frank Forster nodded with approval and then moved on, surveying his dominion. He looked out onto the bank of television screens and monitors, CRT screens, toggles, switches, and above all, white-coated lab technicians.
Lab is not a
I was
word.
about to say we had different editions. How many editions of Gremlins 2, the new batch, Here They Grow Again, did they publish?
Oh, the next line's the best. Fleshy robots.
It's our band name.
At his beck and call. And Frank Forrester found it good.
Why eliminate the word lab?
I don't know, man. Maybe
Why did my brain fill it in?
maybe these technicians didn't want to be pigeonholed.